Welcome back to another Castle Mac presentation of Princes of the Apocalypse. Where last we left our heroes, they had successfully, in a single session, taken out Riverguard Keep, fought an Octorilla. They had dropped in, took out the boss fight easily, and made the enemies siege their own castle. Which turned into a pretty epic siege that they pulled through, and last minute they saw more bandits preparing to attack, but then clearly their Zentrum contact, Renobi, from another ship, launched a counterattack. And fighting ensued as they decided to make their way through the castle and loot what they could before legitimate Thieves Guild made their way inside. Let's quickly go around the horn and tell us about your character. We'll start with Andrew, because you're right here.
I am Henrik Roughsworn, War Priest, level 14, I believe.
Wow! You just keep leveling.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, actually.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Apologies for the live adjustments. We got people of different heights sitting over there all the time. I'm always having to adjust that camera.
I'm going to adjust my chair. Alright, follower of Tempest.
Mm-hmm.
And Tempest don't follow me no more. Just kidding. I don't know how far back we're going to go.
Oh, that's good. Unless anything you want to add, you can, but you don't need to.
Yeah, he's just slaying bosses.
Rolling through your adventure.
Boss slaying. Hey, thanks for the follow, JM Sin? JM Ken?
I don't know.
Jamson.
You're a Niner in there somewhere?
No Niners.
Jeffrey.
I'm playing Nos Blackhand, a assassin divination wizard. Kind of badass.
He's an okay ass.
He's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wins every...
I think he's more of a
He's a
good
medium
ass.
ass.
Yeah.
He tips all the battles in our favor.
He tips him.
I might not disagree with that, at least.
Human. Man. Mailman.
Mailman. He delivers a lot of things.
He does deliver.
He delivers.
He delivers crits. Hey, Wiley.
Wiley.
I am playing the old man, Broderick Reinwald, former Waterdavian nobility turned mercenary turned adventurer, whose better years are behind him. Just out to make a name for himself or die trying.
I love it. I'm going to do some quick addition here real fast.
I'm gonna roll my cheating dice.
Let's see what the cheating dice come
divination.
out. Divination wizards, man.
18 and a 7.
That's what you
pretty
like.
good spread.
You
I like that.
having the high-low. High-low Ren.
Oh. Sorry. I think he's mad because he didn't think of it.
Yeah, that wasn't Andrew's joke. If ever I've told one.
Please leave all jokes of that nature to me.
Thank you for qualifying that.
That's our off-screen
Of that
producer.
Of that nature.
You can tell good jokes.
Yeah, you can do all day long, because I won't be telling any of those.
Okay. So you guys, the fight has broken out between bandits and other bandits, really. You happen to have slightly aligned with some Zentrum contacts that Nas made through Margobarl and Renobi the thief.
Mm-hmm.
As they're fighting, you guys know what they're doing. You make your way through the keep, which isn't that large anyway, so it's not hard as you guys are kind of rifling through to get everything that you see as valuable. You don't find anything particularly interesting quest-wise. You see that a couple books have come up that clearly came from Mirabar, and you can tell that clearly they've had some dealings there. A lot of it is manifest for clearly goods, and there's like sheets on like paid officials in different towns. Like it's a lot of it's administrative. But as you guys go through, you find 2 healing potions, a potion of diminution. You find 2 scrolls, one of haste,
Mm.
the other wall of water.
Both of those are pretty tight.
Haste is on your list, isn't it?
Haste is on my list. Wall of Water is not.
Okay. Why don't you take the haste?
Yeah, okay.
Dibs on at least one healing potion, or at most one healing potion also.
You find 300 GP worth of diamonds. Specifically, you find a pouch,
Diamonds are a cleric's best friend.
and then the rest of you in assorted gold gems, a couple nice books. You guys find 1,060 gold to split
Ooh.
between you.
Man, that's definitely 330.
353. Pretty sure.
Sounds right.
Move it up to the next number, whatever makes the most.
How much was it? 1,060?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't do simple division.
It's 353.
Yeah, you're right. It totally is. Wow, that's really nice. 354 each.
354 each.
Cool. So healing potion. Do you want that other healing potion, or do you want me to hang on to it? You're usually using your bonus action, but I am too.
but I need it to bring one of you back.
Sold.
I don't have to have it. I mean, I
But
do have a
if
lot.
we have any downtime, I'm gonna make some anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Why don't you take it?
why don't you take it and I'll make some and I
Okay.
can distribute the
You
extras.
take it, I make it.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead and take it.
I think we missed one of it.
And there's two. There's two healing.
There's two healing potions and a potion of diminution.
Diminution.
I don't even know what that does.
Diminuate.
Can you
Diminuation
dive
makes you small.
into?
Diminution.
Yeah.
Can you
Makes you
dive
tiny.
into
Makes you
diminution
tiny.
of that spell?
Enlarge.
No?
What'd you say?
I said, can you dive into diminutia of that spell? Give me all the deets. All right, what is it called?
You know what? I will.
DIM.
Diminution.
Diminution.
Why do I feel so
It's-
stupid trying to pronounce this?
It's diminution.
Pretty sure.
No, it's diminution. There's no A.
There's no way.
There's no way. There ain't no way.
Look, there ain't no A there.
Yep,
Wow.
you drink this, you gain reduce effect of enlarge reduce.
Yep.
Spell for 1d4 hours. The red, the rest
So
is
it makes
what
you
looks
it
like.
makes you tiny.
It makes you teeny tiny.
What is the reduce?
You go down one size.
I mean that's
So you're small.
hilarious. Target you have disadvantage on strength checks. Okay, good. Target size is halved in all dimensions. Its weight is reduced to 1/8 of normal. Can we have Nos drink that and then hide in my back?
With a little kid.
Nas can
Yeah,
do that
see?
back.
The target's weapons also shrink to match its new size. While these weapons are reduced, the target's attacks with them deal 1d4 less damage.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll hold on to that potion if y'all want. I don't.
That's fine.
Can I force someone to drink it?
We would roll for it, but yeah, you could probably force it
Hold
down.
their nose and pour it in. Rub their throat.
I think if you grappled, restrained, I'd let somebody else make an attack roll with a potion.
Pour it into their mouth. All
Two
right.
of you have to
That-
hold.
Okay. Packed. That's the only way we're using that potion. is forcing it on an enemy.
Which by the time you have them restrained,
Right, you
grappled,
probably already
fine.
won.
That's an interesting one.
Fine, we can break the pact.
Yeah, but think about it. If you do have them restrained and you give them that, the chance of them getting out of that restraint,
Disadvantage on strength.
can you just put them in your pocket at that point?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much.
Just put it in your pack and
I mean, I
Close it
guess
up.
if you're medium,
really
you're
funny.
essentially gnome-sized after that, right?
Yeah. Does your voice go up? Nice.
That's how things work.
so do their clothes increase in size after they go back to normal?
No.
If so, can we make them some golden clothes that will then double or octuple in size when they get big again?
Oh man, you're breaking the rules of magic here.
I need to
I'll
kill
take-
Andrew
do you-
tonight.
You don't have to give me an inspiration for that idea.
That does remind me.
It's advised.
This
It's
Change the
advised.
subject.
Castle Mac rules. These orange beads are player beads. Are player
Thanks, Lydia.
given inspiration for good role playing. I don't know, dope actions, or if you think a bud needs them. So, and we have inspiration as a reroll.
Yep.
For any of you watching, somewhere down here, there is also a divine favor bar. If they reach 500 bits, you, as the gods have smiled upon them, they can have a single reroll, either any of them or force me to reroll.
Mm-hmm. It's often quite crucial.
Sometimes.
What happens if we don't use it? Does it carry over? I think it should.
Reasonably,
I think it should
reasonably
carry
would carry over.
'Cause-
Yeah.
You know, people are like supporting us.
As long as the Mind Palace remembers that we have it, then I'm fine with carrying it over. I just know if I establish that, I'll forget.
I got it.
Does it carry over to the next stream, though? Does Strahd get one if we don't use one?
No.
Okay.
No, not those.
No,
Guess
that's not how it works.
Hate those people.
Close down for a conversation.
So, you guys also find 2 keys. One was on the werebore, the leader. The other was on one of the Genasi that you killed.
Was it the reinforcements that came in?
The
Like the priestess or something?
not the priest, but the who introduced himself as Sholar.
Oh,
He was kind
right,
of giving
right,
the
right, right.
commands
Yeah.
between them. But you find 2 keys, and as you guys are searching around, you go back upstairs. You find that there is a secret door that leads down to a deeper part. Would you go in there?
Oh, 100%. And we'll be doing it with haste before those bandits come.
You guys have cleared out. You kind of figure out where it could go to, and you guys make your way down. It's a spiral staircase that winds a pretty long way down. And as you get to the bottom, you come out, and there's just dimly lit torches, and you're on the shore of an underground cavern. And there are 3 small boats chained, and it just goes off into darkness.
Are the boats locked? Or are they just...
They're not.
They're kind of like moored?
They're just moored boats that are
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
You guys go ahead and roll perception as well.
17.
16.
Is it reasonable to assume that either now or prior to this, I could have cast Ritual Cast Detect Magic? At this point, I'm completely spent of spells, but I can Ritual Cast Detect Magic.
You leveled.
True.
Yeah.
Still,
You'll have those slots.
True.
Would you want to do it when you got in this cavern?
probably would have done it beforehand when we were looking for stuff, right? Would have
Yeah.
helped identify those potions and things.
Okay.
Like, get the, oh, no, found one!
How long does it last?
Last-
10 minutes?
Last 10 minutes.
Okay. Let me think about how long, when you reasonably would have cast it.
Sure.
and looked.
If not, I'll cast it here.
Yeah.
I just want
I
to
think
check
you
the
would have.
area.
I think you'd have to do it twice. Like,
Okay.
I think it probably took
The
you
problem
guys...
is if you cast it and then cast it again, that's 20 minutes.
Yes.
That fight, maybe,
True.
you know,
True.
heading this way.
I'll burn my brand new spell slots. I'm completely
I'll
burnt
say
out.
I'll say if you guys had cast it when you were looking,
Mm-hmm.
that would have been fine. Now that you hear it, you also get that this was a secret passage. Like,
Oh yeah, we would have closed
they're
it behind
definitely
us, too.
probably not going to find you here
Mhm.
for now. So you could cast it again.
All right, cool. So any magic?
You see that the boats, they almost pick up like they have residual magic. Like it's just something you're attuned to. There's no specific spell on them or anything like that. But you do, it's almost like they've touched. They're tainted with magic. A little bit. And you two, as he's slowly going over the boats, you guys see things in the water moving. Something will...
Like fish?
It would be similar to a fish if a fish was very large.
It's like big fish.
When you can see through the dark, right? You can see that they look vaguely humanoid.
I back up.
They're not right on the shore
Yeah.
by any means, but
Yeah.
you can kind of see that as the water is going and the waves are coming up, that every once in a while something will surface and go back down.
Alright, let's back up. There's something down there. Not like a fish creature. Like it was humanoid under the water.
Humanoid.
Yeah.
Broderick would back up, cast dancing lights, and send them out over the water.
Okay.
And I'll have my hand crossbow out.
You send them out in almost a spread. So one, because at this point you're in the wider part, and
Yeah, how big? The cavern goes off as far as we
You
can
can't
see.
Not see the end. But you see that there is light coming in because there's like almost a storm drain that's emptying water from up above, and as you look up, you wouldn't have seen where that storm drain led to from where you were.
Okay.
But you're like, that must lead to the surface, and it looks like you could get down the storm drain into here as well. But you kind of cast out the lights in the widest part of the cavern where you're at, where the shore comes, because it goes into a more narrow cavern. And as you do, a figure pops above the waves, and you guys can see for a moment the light glide over a sliming figure of an undead human that you know. I won't make you roll it. You realize it's probably a ghoul, as they're typically found in water. There are multiples.
But they're not coming towards us?
They're not coming towards you. In fact, they seem a bit like they're at kind of almost the cave mouth, whereas you guys are kind of in this open area. It looks like it starts at about when the cave really starts to narrow.
And go... So does the cave go... Are we coming perpendicular into this, like a cave passage?
Yep, you're essentially at the large cave mouth. And
We're coming into the mouth.
From where the stairs go down and the storm drain, it's almost like you're at the mouth.
So the water kind of ends here?
Yep, it comes up to like a shore.
Okay.
And in fact, it's not just a shore, it's a stoned shore.
Okay.
So it's clearly built to be a shore here.
Gotcha.
Which way is the water flowing?
Well, it's going into the cave. It's coming out. It's coming in from up above from that storm drain. And it's kind of just sloshing in here, but it looks like it leads.
But the water would come down here, feed into this.
Yes, the water feeds in. But it doesn't look like there's a heavy current by any means.
Right.
And this looks like it just leads to the river? Just a secret entrance out to the river, or
Goes
no?
the other way.
It goes deep.
Gotcha. Got it.
Yeah, because you said it went deep into darkness.
Into darkness. And yes, perpendicular to the river. The river goes this way.
Right.
This goes this way.
Okay. So it's going like in towards the mountains.
Yep.
Right?
Into the hills.
The hills.
Into the hills.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
This likely heads deeper into the large temple we've know the other temples connected to as well.
Those must be guardians. Either way, in our current condition, we can't go down there.
No. But we'll secure the door and hope that the bandits don't find it. Keep that key, Stalwart.
And you did find 2.
Yeah. And one of the keys unlocked this.
Sholar or Sholinar?
Sholar and
And Borgin.
yeah, the Wereborn, whose name is now gone from me from the Mind Palace.
Well, no.
Yeah.
You have mind worms.
Palace is crumbling.
They're burrowing in.
Turn on your worm tracker.
Put on my worm tracker. Curse of me playing. Track my worms.
We go back up.
I think we do, but we be careful not to show anyone
No.
the secret passage.
Agreed.
And you, by this point, have been down here long enough that you can hear that the fighting stopped a few minutes ago, and you're starting to hear voices, closer up, kind of within the keep, away from the water gate where they were, who, I don't know, they sound like people who just won, and they're
Cheering.
they're appraising, laughing. I mean, it's not a huge, like a battlefield, like, yeah, but I mean, most of these are rogues, so it's like, gig's a gig.
So, in the amount of money do we find like silver and copper and stuff?
You did. I converted that to gold, but yes, there is.
I'd almost
silver
rather
and copper.
leave that.
Leave the silver and copper?
Yeah.
All right, then I would say minus 200 of that gold
Total.
That
I mean, you know what? I'll just take it out of mine. I'll just take
Go
200 out of
plant
mine.
some real
Yeah,
quick.
I'm gonna go
so
plant
they
some
find
gold.
something.
All right, you got. You're stealthy enough and plenty fast enough. You know where it was. I'm not going to even make you roll
Okay.
it.
Roderick's not.
You're throwing it in.
No.
Fair's
stashes.
I'm doing it for a specific reason, though.
So you
Investment.
And you're clever. You remember, like, you clearly knew which room the boss's room was.
I'm actually going to leave that wall of water scroll too.
Okay. You remember, in fact, exactly where you found it, so you shove it under, you push it under stuff just like it was hidden from there.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time. They don't, in fact, seem like... You can hear voices, like, starting to come through, but they're not yet venturing through every single room. They're mostly in that kind of courtyard.
Alright, I'm just going to go up.
All right. You
Yeah,
do that.
We'll follow his lead. This is his show here.
And just walk brazenly out in the courtyard. Because I look fine, amazingly enough.
Yeah, we would have bandaged. I mean, I assume we had a short
rest.
there. But we would have bandaged
Yeah,
up
yeah.
at least.
You
But
guys
yeah,
had
we're
a short
definitely
rest.
Yeah.
sweat matted to our hair, clothing torn.
And
Broderick's fine clothes are probably no longer looking fine at all.
No.
I'm going to make sure the cloak is like off so it's not activated.
Yeah. You walk out, and there's... You've seen enough, like, you know, enough power structures, and all of you do. Like, there's clearly the kind of lowest level that are being given tasks. There's some intermediate, almost officer level of... You can see people, I mean, already taking charge. There are people starting to head up through almost like they're setting up watches. And you all notice this is a well-oiled organization.
I'm looking for Renobi.
You find her.
Okay.
She's, as you guys kind of come down, you can see that they're tearing through a lot of the boats that they had here, a lot of the barges. And she's, you know, kind of just standing, like, I mean, just appraising what they're doing. And if they pull something off, you see her kind of look down, taking mental notes. And she turns around,
walk up
she's
to her.
like, wow. Hey, handsome. Hello, boys.
Good timing.
She's like, you know, people have said that about me.
I have no doubt.
It's a shame you hadn't arrived earlier. It could have helped with the fight a bit.
She's like,
That was fun. And I point to the Octorilla. You ever see anything like that?
I don't even know what that is. Do you think any of its parts are valuable to somebody as
Oh, I'm
spellcaster,
sure.
maybe?
A very rare creature, no doubt.
You see her look at
I would
some
harvest
of,
its organs also.
some of the, like, you know, clearly strong backmen and stuff. She's like, looks like she's adding up. She's like, well, we found as we were coming up that most of their shipments were coming in, so I trusted that all of you heroes could take care of the rest in here. And I was right.
It was, fun.
It looks like it was fun.
You'll find more bodies in there, and, I mean, the place is yours. Do with what you will.
She's like, well, I won't be staying, but
No, but
to the other Zentrum, they will be taking it over. Tell me, did you find anything interesting?
That's definitely the first we've actually heard of the Zentrum, right?
Yes,
it is.
that is.
I mean, we had no idea that she was going to come and take it over.
Not
right?
at all.
No,
actually.
because I did that. I told her that through the Sending Stones.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So I think Broderick would kind of... I mean, I imagine, has
you both
the
know who the Zentrum
long-standing
are,
belief that
Yes.
the Zentrum are not good guys.
and you don't know any of the Margabaral stuff of
Right.
him being involved, and essentially what their intentions are. So yes, both of you know that a thieves organization, sometimes assassins organization, has now taken over.
Do I hear his like intake of breath behind
Yeah,
me?
any organization nicknamed the Black Network or whatever. I think, yeah, bro, just like...
And I just kind of look back and just.
Oh man, I think Broderick would just look at Henrik.
Is that what was going on here, Nurse?
Well, we need allies. Do we not?
Renobi looks between all of you, smiling like,
They're not our enemies. I can say that for sure.
Well, they certainly showed up after we did all the heavy lifting, so I suppose we did need someone to clean up the bodies, but this keep belongs to the Black Network now.
It will not belong to the cultists, though. I think that is the biggest point.
Like, it won't belong to the cultists.
It's a half step in the right direction, then, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a step.
I get your reservations, but the Zentrum has changed after the war. Most of the more aggressive members have gone off to form their own. Are we interested in making money? Of course. Like, the days of shaking down the locals is hardly good business anymore. There's not that much money to go around. Trade. It's frankly the new word of the Zentrum.
You should have told us, Nos.
I knew what your reaction would be.
We're your allies. You manipulated us.
I didn't manipulate you.
You did.
I just didn't give you the appropriate information. And I just kind of smiled to her.
She
As I
smiles.
say that. I kind of give her like a wry smile.
Like, well,
I think Broder is like,
Well, the place is cleared out for you.
It's all yours.
I hope we can all still be friends.
So do I.
I think Broder's gonna pull out his wineskin and just push past her.
Yeah, I think Henrik would just turn around and walk off somewhere.
I let them go.
Yeah.
I'm like, their sensibilities are a little more delicate. I'm saying this, they can't hear.
Yeah.
Their sensibilities are a little more
Well,
delicate.
I heard you, Jeff.
Perception check. No, I heard, douche.
I'm sorry. But you and I know that sometimes, well, they're going to have to learn that you have to do things maybe that are a little distasteful sometimes for the greater good. Right?
She looks off towards them and kind of regards you. Her face is a little bit more serious, in fact. And she's like, there's a place for men like that. And then there's a place for people like us.
Agreed.
We need not be at each other's throats. She's like, the world isn't the same as it was a few years ago.
It is not. But it's no less deadly.
Oh, no, it is no less deadly.
And with the depletion of much of the forces in the north, the allies of old cannot be counted upon. New allies must be acquired.
I suppose for them they'll have to get used to the fact that better the devil you know.
Exactly. That's. Don't worry. I'll convince them.
Well, what do you do?
And if I don't,
Like,
there are always
keep us
other
honest.
opportunities, right?
I suppose so. On that note, and how deadly it is, I have a bit of information for you. Like, sent from our mutual friend,
Mhm.
Mr. Markabal.
Of course.
Summit Hall, little known, is that it has a prison there as well. But they also guard a great number of people. One of which is said to know about the weapon that destroyed Amhill. He thought that might be of interest to you.
That destroyed Amhill?
Yes. Which you guys did know.
No.
Margabarl told you that a place was wiped off.
Remember one of the towns that was...
I just don't remember the name. The
It
name
was-
is not registered.
it was
in the-
bigger than Red Larch, and it was just wiped from existence.
Yeah.
Oh, was that south of here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, one of the individuals who was responsible for that is in the prison?
No, not necessarily. She's like, this person has been there for over a year now, but apparently something Margabarl's been asking around for the past few days. Whoever he knows and however he knows it, I don't. But this person used to be somebody of great knowledge and power, but seems to have lost most of that now. But some of those who escaped Amhill said that they saw a crystal ball. And most people think that you can't just put magic into any old crystal, so it must be specific.
So, you want me to free him?
I don't want you to do anything at all. Margobarl said that might be interesting to you. If they have one, they'll probably want more. And of course, yes, I would rather not have one of those in the middle of this keep or anywhere else that I might be sleeping one night.
Understood.
Freeing him could be difficult. Or perhaps he'll just tell you. Don't know. Those who reside at Summit Hall are a bit more like your friends.
Yeah, well, we all can't be perfect, can we?
Definitely not me. And she starts to kind of walk off. And she's like, you three! And you can see her start to point into the Octorilla. And you see them grab machetes.
Nice!
What cut is she gonna give us, though?
Of the Octorilla? Behind.
But you do know when you're appraising it that, like, yes, you guys got the personal golden effects, but that wasn't where the riches were here. It was the amount of stolen cargo that is clearly on these barges.
Yeah.
And it is hefty. Multiple ships of multiple goods. Doesn't look like anything necessarily nefarious. I mean, it's ales and things like that, but it's also food stores.
And I'll tell her, I said, I made sure that there was some loose change left around for some of your men.
Good. Nothing of interest, though, I suppose.
There's one thing. It's a scroll. And I tell her where it is.
She's like, scrolls have always such a good price.
Yes, they do.
She's like, well, I'll see you, handsome. And she leans in quickly, kisses you on the cheek.
Can we act that out?
I'd like to see it acted
Yeah,
out,
I
too.
can't.
Just for my immersion.
I can't really get into it unless
Yeah.
You can't visualize it?
Yeah, I'm trying, but
You guys will all get your moment then, if that's what you want.
I think Broderick has positioned himself like up on the parapet, like leaned up against, the stone, looking out at the river and seeing the ships unloading. Just trying to be a little bit by himself, but definitely fuming, I think.
Yeah, I figured he would.
I think he's fuming.
And I mean, you didn't exactly see the battle. It does look like a couple. There are certainly people who were taken captive, gave up, or surrendered. Like they added it up. You don't see them being mistreated. Mostly because I think you're looking for any possible thing to be like, see,
That's why.
You don't see any of that necessarily. I mean, it is a little unsettling though. Like I said, that it runs like regiments you've been with. Like everybody
Well oiled.
where you would think that a group of like rogues, thieves, smugglers would be fighting over things, they know exactly what to do.
I imagine the sun is just rising to our backs, right? Because the river's southwest of the keep.
Yes.
Is that the geography I remember right? And it was like pre-dawn, right?
Yeah. So it's
I think it'd kind of be shivering a little in the pre-dawn.
well, it's southeast.
The river is southeast?
Yes, from
It goes like this? Well,
Yeah.
backwards for you. Okay. Yeah,
So-
either way.
So it's coming, it's shimmering off the water, and you only see the silhouette of figures unloading barges. You look down at essentially what you guys have done, and I mean, looking again at the enemies that you felled in that siege, honestly brings you out of it, I think, for a moment. I mean, it is no small feat.
That was a hell of a fight.
What you doing, Henry?
I think Henry's just kind of walking around, kicking rocks, and internally struggling over, absolute, his somewhat more absolutist nature of before and being flexible. I don't think he necessarily thinks Nas is like has ruined everything and he's pissed at him, but he's just like just thinking about, because I can't remember any of them because I don't have memory, but there have been other situations where it's been like kind of greater good events.
Yes, I definitely don't think Broderick is like irreparably upset, but I think it's just like, yep, that's who I always thought he was, and I thought he was better than that, and I'm the fool for.
He's dad
even
disappointed.
thinking that. He's. I'm not mad.
I'm
Just disappointed.
I think Henrik's less fuming and more just
Also
thinking
disappointed.
about himself and being part of things, whether he wants to be a part of things. Like he does, obviously, but you know, that's about it. Yeah, kicking rocks.
Yeah.
Long answer.
You guys have so far set up Aarakocra, who, as you heard, were potentially escaped, but the tower was decimated. You've left one place to a lich, and another to the
that's
Zentarum.
Yeah,
That's
helping one unsavory type to get rid of another one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let them brood and pout.
Kick rocks.
Yeah, but you know, he'll just kind of keep his distance until they feel like they're ready to talk. Because he played that out for a very specific reason.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think Henrik
I
went
forgot
far.
that
He was
y'all
just
didn't
more
know when I said that, but I'm
Yeah.
glad you reminded me.
Yeah.
I think Henrik, once your conversation was over and she was away, he would come back over. He was just more like, I'm gonna get away from her kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think same. I think Broderick would take a little longer, but he'd eventually show up, of course.
You guys meet really wherever you think you would. I mean, the courtyard's big, so you could easily meet in there, but
I think it might make sense to meet outside.
outside of the entire keep.
Yeah, like go outside.
Also, he would whistle for Shimmermane.
Oh yeah. You whistle as you're up there, chugging your wineskin, looking down, and I mean, you look back at the river for a moment, and what feels like only seconds, right onto the wall, Shimmermane dives in, trots up, and she closes her wings and kind of comes up to you.
Man, he'd probably do the old, like, feather ruffle, like, put his head against her head, and then be like, alright, mount up and just fucking swoop down into the courtyard.
And she would rub her like the.
Should we act that out?
Yeah, I thought, you know what? I knew all y'all would want this.
You're the one pure thing I've got left in this world. Sean, I mean, Shimmermane.
Shawnamane. I love you.
In character, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
You fly down. You're already by Nas. They fly in. He trouts off of Shimmermane. I guess unless you felt like staying on.
Nah, I think it'd stay on her. Like, doing the little bit of a douche, like,
Just sitting like
yeah, sitting up above.
yeah, kind of looking down.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be looking down and just be like,
Are we ready to get moving?
Well, I think we should talk before we go, so we know what we're doing.
so you said you wanted to talk outside of
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are
Cool.
You guys are. I mean, essentially right outside the front gate, which you didn't fully even know where it was.
Is the front gate facing the hills?
It is facing the hills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doing the thing for Raven real quick.
Ooh. I'll look to the two of them and I'll say, I don't expect you to be happy with me, but hopefully you'll let me explain.
Of course.
In the times to come, we can't do this alone. We've talked about this before. I understand that in the past, and maybe still are, and I don't doubt, I don't pretend that the Zentarum is a benevolent organization. But if steered in the right direction, if manipulated correctly, they can help us. If we spurn them and turn them away, they're another enemy at our back.
You think you can out-manipulate the Black Network?
I don't have to out-manipulate the network. I just have to put the right words in the right ears and let them do it themselves. I know how they work. I've dealt with them before. I don't expect you to accept what I did. And you're right, I should have told you. Honestly, the truth is I forgot about it with the excitement of what was happening. until I saw those ships coming in. But I knew after looking over the keep that we
Then
wouldn't
why
be able to do it
us?
alone.
They've got ships full of trained assassins.
Because they don't want to stop. They don't care enough. They're more concerned about making money, establishing their trade routes.
We could have all been killed, and for what? We stopped a handful of people that they could have stopped. They
Maybe.
got a river port out of this, and we got what?
We
More of a
removed
fight ahead of us.
We'll remove the stronghold of the cultists. Do you regret doing that?
I don't, of course, no, but... Well, it's just the Black Network. Of anyone.
Well,
Where were they at the Well of Dragons? Not present, I can tell you that.
right. Which means we have to make sure that, well, my intent is to make sure that they do get involved, or they don't have a choice but to be involved. Remember, the cultists may want this back, right?
They may.
What's the best way to bring them into the fight? Send a fight to them.
I don't disagree with the actions, but it's water under the bridge now, and we've got too much ahead of us to dwell on it.
I just
But I
don't,
want nothing to do with them myself.
You don't have to. I wouldn't expect either one of you to want to do it.
And I don't want our blood and sweat to be their gain. Look at them down there. We did that, Nos.
So let me ask you this: what would happen after we left? Were we going to hold this keep? Were we going to send armies to hold this?
We could have sent word.
To who?
The Order of the Gauntlet.
Who are all but decimated from the war.
Everyone's decimated but the Zentrum. And all we're doing is helping them grow again.
So let's assume that a remnant of the Order came here, and then the Zentrum realized that they were weak and came to take them. There would have been more bloodshed here,
But
potentially.
I thought they were changed. Would
I
would they attack a weakened?
Oh, I think they would. I think they would. But
All
that
right.
that would mean more innocent lives. You're thinking too black and white. This is chess. This is not dueling. This is not throwing daggers at a dartboard. This is we have to outthink our enemies. We have to think 4 steps ahead of them. We can't think in the moment.
We're weakening one enemy to strengthen another.
But the Black Network has never been about world domination. The cultists are.
This
The
is
gods or demons or whatever they want to summon are about destroying the world.
true. Lesser of two evils is.
That's exactly what it is. And I know that leaves a bad taste in both your mouths.
I'll tell you why, though. Because we had no choice in it, Nos. We did this with no choice.
That's fair. That's fair, and I do apologize for that.
Your logic is sound, and I think you could have even swayed the stalwart and I, but after we all 3 nearly wound up as corpses in the courtyard.
Well,
You have to understand, I've been on my own my whole life. The fact that I've depended on the 2 of you as much as I have has surprised even me. I admit, it was probably me slipping back into my old ways, my old being protective of myself and wanting to control the situation. And I know that doesn't work with us. I can only tell you that I'm sorry and that it won't happen again and hope that you'll believe me.
I do.
I cast Zone of Truth.
I let you. Actually, if you wanted to do it, he wouldn't even flinch at it.
not even. That's not even what Broderick would do.
what's done is done. Future decisions we make together.
Agreed.
Let's move on.
Agreed.
Can live with it.
But I did get some information, which is one of the other reasons that I want to throw them a bone here and there, because they can provide us with information out here that we cannot get anywhere else. We are running around in the dark for the most part. We've been stumbling from keep to keep out of luck because we happen to find a document here or there or a note or something like that.
Yes, I was thinking on that. I think we should try to get an audience with the Witch Nithbis.
I agree.
This is big now.
Well, I agree, and I also think when we talk to them, we should tell them that the Zentarum are holding this.
Yes.
I won't say it, but the 2 of you will.
Can do that.
She did give me a bit of information about Summit Hall. What was the name of the town?
The Amtail.
Amtail.
I can't hear what you said. You're saying Anthill?
Amptail.
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 Yeah, the tail of the amplifier.
Yes.
Okay.
It's spelled a little different. Doesn't matter.
All right.
Yes.
Got it.
So it was destroyed,
Yes.
right? Now, I was a little fuzzy on some of this. So did they use this crystal to destroy the town?
That's what you just learned.
Okay.
So you knew that it was destroyed by some elemental means. That's what you heard. But this is the first time that you've heard about a crystal, like it's a weapon.
Right.
You didn't know exactly.
Did they describe? Did she just have any description of
She
it?
said crystal ball, but she didn't say any more than that.
Okay. And again, I'm missing the connect between that and the prisoner that's in Summit Hall.
She said that Margot Barrel found out that this person being held at one time seemed to know quite a bit about.
Didn't participate, but knew.
No, but knows about those specific area.
Okay, understood. That area where they was or the crystals.
The crystals
Okay.
and got the idea that he's well learned in magic
Okay.
and research.
Okay. Summit Hall. I don't know if the Lich told us this or not, but apparently it is a haven for holy warriors.
It was the order, that they established.
Exactly. They have a prisoner there. This prisoner apparently is well versed in magical lore and actually apparently knows something about these crystals. They could be a key to these elemental cults in some way. But getting an audience with him through them might be difficult.
Sounds like something right up your alley.
Or your alleys. If we can go, like you said, to Nithbis, maybe we can get some writ or recommendation or
Surely
something
they
from
would
them.
heed Nithbis's advice.
Exactly.
You did bring the armor to return to them.
Yeah, we know that's
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry, I was suddenly like, wait, y'all had that.
Well, are his remains there?
His remains were there, but y'all just took the armor.
We took his armor.
You took his armor. You took the armor of the dead, the clearly somewhat
Right.
freshly dead knight of Samalar.
Okay. But our secondary objective with the Lich is to bring his body to be interned back at the Sacred Stone
To
Monastery.
bring his brother's body.
His brother, that's what I meant. His brother's body and the armor, presumably, or not.
The armor was kind of separate, right? It was not the brother's armor. It was another one of their knights.
You guys,
The Knights of Samalar.
the Mirror Bar, you guys freed the Mirror Bar prisoners. Whether or not I said that or not, they would have told you they were helping escort this body back to Summit Hall. In fact, that's where they were supposed to be.
Oh,
When
the
they
body
were
that was
busy.
here?
Was at the Sacred Stone Monastery. They were supposed to.
Oh, so we're going to take the armor back to them as like a good gesture.
That's what I thought.
Okay, yeah,
you
you're right.
guys
Okay,
were
sorry.
doing.
Yeah, it's all starting to...
Yeah, the armor wasn't the brothers.
It's
It
a
was
separate-
just another.
okay.
It was
That-
one of their knights. Or
That was a
priests or something.
separate thing that bringing the brother to Renwick, Cara Dune, is a deal he offered you.
So, what are your thoughts on getting the brother's remains to bring back to the Renwick? Was that his name?
Renwick, Cara Dune.
Yeah.
I think we'll have an uphill battle there. I don't know if
It's
sheer negotiation can pull that off.
Well, let's think about this. If we tell them exactly why that we want the remains of one of your greatest knights to give to a Lich. Obviously, not going to go over too well.
No.
Right? And I know that is a bit distasteful that we're doing this, but again, an ally of that power would be paramount. Oh my God! She saw them upstairs, came down, and squanched them.
Just got squanched.
All I hear is her rustling through the bag in the background. She's the worst.
They got the red vines, boys. But don't worry.
There's more.
There's plenty of candy over there.
How do you two feel about that? How we should approach that?
suggesting we leave out the details?
I'm asking.
I appreciate.
There's a good chance they will just say no to us, even bringing that armor back.
I think that's likely.
So I suggest we make the decision now. Do we go back on our word to Renwick, or do we get that body at no harm to the knights?
I was certainly hasty to make such an agreement.
Well, I think we all were, considering the being of power that was standing
There
before
was
us.
a centuries-old lich.
I was terrified. I will not lie to you.
Yes, as was I.
I have less qualms crossing the lich than I do seemingly honorable holy men.
I don't disagree.
Cross them in order to appease the lich, or cross the lich in order to appease
Well,
them?
it may not come to that. I suspect it will. I don't think we're being...
I will say, you guys... That was a deal that you didn't necessarily agree on. That was for extra stuff. So you guys clearing out... And
Yeah, but he said, you better keep your word.
He did. He did.
He kind of threatened us.
He did say that.
He kind of threatened us. And I took it to heart when he did it.
When a lich threatens you, you pay attention.
Yeah.
That's true. I did make that happen.
Yeah.
But
Now, we don't have to do this right away.
we
right?
do not, no. He didn't give us a time frame, and I suspect a lich is, well,
So here's my thought. We can go to Summon Hall, we can return the armor. And that's our intent, right? We can talk to them. I suggest we don't even bring up the concept of taking the remains back yet. We need to let them see the threat that's happening in the world right now.
I agree.
Once that happens, once that threat is in their face and or on their doorstep, they may be more willing to help, knowing that we have an avenue to give
I agree to
being of
that.
power.
And I think we will be best armed to make our case with more than just a trinket to return to them. Not that returning an armor of one of their fallen comrades to them isn't valuable or meaningful to them. I think we should seek the counsel of Nithbis or
I
any.
agree.
If we came with both the proof of the armor and the backing of one such as her, then I think we can sway them, if there is still goodness in them. And I believe there is.
Well, I've found that those who profess themselves to be the most noble and most good can be the most stubborn and the most short-sighted and blind to what's around them. Now, I could be completely wrong. I don't know anything about these knights. But, like I said, we need to think better and faster ahead of our enemies.
We also can't discount the fact that they may be fallen. The Feathergale Knights were noble.
I thought about that.
1 year ago, they were at the well. I saw them riding their hippogriffs. It's like Shimmermane here that I'm still sitting on. In case you forgot.
No. How could I forget? It's sitting right in front of me.
It's like,
I put my cloak up.
So, we may have to deal with that as well.
Well, let's not create complications that may not be there. But I like the way you're thinking.
How far away are we from Golden Leaf?
Probably a week.
Yep.
I think.
a week, you are close to Summit Hall.
What if we were to take what if we were going to take the river? Does this river head anywhere near?
I mean,
What about by Shimmermane?
Shimmermane from
You mean to go to Golden Leaf?
to get to Golden Leaf? I think half the time.
Well, three of us can't ride on Sugar.
No.
The three of us don't have to.
How far to Summit Hall?
2 days. Taking your time.
If the two of you could go to Golden Leaf, I could stay here. Maybe I can get some more information while I'm here.
But we're not saying we'd go to Summit Hall and then to Golden Leaf and then back to
I
Summit
think
Hall.
it'll have more weight if we bring the armor and the support of Golden Leaf
Yes.
at the same time.
That's my thinking, anyways. What do you think, Stalwart?
It's probably the best idea, despite Summit Hall being so close.
It does cost us a week as well. We don't know what our timetable is.
Could go either way. We could stop at Summit Hall, make an initial impression.
Lydia's screaming in the chat, like, why don't you say the Council of Innis? Sorry.
Because Innis is a greedy magic item. Huh.
I don't know. I don't know what the right course of action is, but I fear merely showing up with armor, especially if they're
I
stubborn.
don't think it's enough.
And if we show up with that and then tell them,
Like, here's a gift.
yes,
Here's to prove that our intentions are noble.
I think we must. I think we must risk it.
Fair enough.
On the other hand, how important is it? I don't know. My heart tells me we should get Nithbis involved. At the very least, she should know what's going on here. If she doesn't already.
I would be surprised if she doesn't. But best to make contact. Two of us then?
I think so.
Anything we should be aware of timeline-wise that the Mind Palace is remembering that we're not?
No, not necessarily. I mean, there's a single keep left,
Right.
but
We don't know where it is, though, do we?
you do.
Scarlet Moon?
Yeah.
Do we know where it is?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I
not
guess
gonna
we
be
already know
Yeah,
because
it's in the hills.
It's a day away, but this also seems.
I think what I would do, even though this is foolish, I would scout it out while they're going.
Okay. That can be done.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we're gonna do it.
All right. Well, just a good old-fashioned split in the party.
Thank you.
And that was all well earned. Okay.
Yeah.
So way to go,
That was
guys.
fun.
Not what I thought.
Not well, of course. What did you expect?
We're gonna take a quick break
While I read
here
the next part.
at this moment, since they're trying to fuck me.
Alright, we'll be back in about 10 minutes,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you.
Just trying to make things difficult.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back from a break from a dope start of some good, heavy roleplay character development. Our party, as they do to me all the time, has decided to split.
I heard you should always split the party.
Yeah,
spread out.
it's more
spread
efficient,
out the role
right?
playing.
Split
Yeah.
the party, always go right.
Don't put all your parties in one basket.
I honestly, it's easier with 3 people to do it because it's not like there's like 5 people sitting aside when one person does something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is still not nearly as hard as y'all on a essential dungeon of the Spire being like, yeah, we're gonna do 2 separate things.
Yeah.
I
It's
also
like, y'all,
prefer.
this is my first dungeon. This is my first dungeon I'm DMing. Yeah, we're
true, it
gonna
was.
split it.
we really did screw you.
we're the best
God,
friends
we're the
ever.
worst friends.
Does this game have split screen support?
Oh man, I wish.
Picture in picture.
I just prefer the term party diversification.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So you are going to stay in Riverguard, and then you plan on scouting the Moon Hall is what your plan is. Okay. You guys are both heading off on Shimmermane.
Is the Moon Hall near the river at all?
You're gonna have to cross it.
Okay.
And you're gonna have to go a little northeast,
Okay.
kind of from where you are. But your map is, so far from what you've been able to tell, pretty
good.
accurate.
Okay.
Okay, so
Can we assume a long rest at this point?
yes,
Okay.
yes, for sure. You two take off in flight, and you cut back over the same lands that you've gone through. You easily see the craggy path that led to the Sacred Stone Monastery. You have to fly right over Red Larch, and you see that the tower is sundered in half for Feathergale Spire.
That's right.
There's no.
Oh, I have my flying goggles on, by the way.
Yep. So
Just a reminder that
you
I
put
have...
on your helmet and your goggles, and you do it. When you hear is all fuzzy, it's like tunnel vision. But when you look in, it's almost like a magnifying glass. Like you can catch detail. Plus, you're getting older. Your eyesight is not.
True.
Is not.
I
the
deliberately
best.
took no proficiency in perception, just to represent his aging eyes.
So you almost, there's aspects where you're like, I mean, if I could have this at all times, if there were some device that could fit on my eyes, maybe with wires and glass, I would find it helpful.
Some sort of tempered glass.
But you can catch details, and you see it definitely looks like a wind just cut it in half with rubble. And though you can't pick out the level of details that he can, you can see that. And when you were in there, that place wasn't falling apart. It was sturdy and well built, and it is wrecked. Red Larch, as you kind of fly over, seems booming. I mean, there's no new buildings or anything like that, but it does look like there's a lot of traffic and people and a lot of carriages going through there.
Would probably plan to stay a night in Red Larch, just to let... I mean, we don't have to even roleplay it out, but just to let Shimmermane get a good rest with the stable boy who cares for her.
And when you get there, the stable, because Roddy Bramblebee made it back with which you find out in the tavern. You find out that they made it back.
That old wily hobbit
That
over there.
wily little hobbit.
Chilling in the tavern, I imagine.
He is not. He is not
on the job.
present there anymore. But some of them are still there, and some of them see you and come up almost slightly uncomfortably, and I mean profusely thank you again. With some of them with tears in their eyes. You stay for free. They won't accept your money at the inn.
Nice.
The stable boy, as you sent money, or you gave money already.
Yeah, I would leave him more. I'd give him like 5 gold.
I mean,
fortune for that kid.
He seems to have almost reserved a spot, and he's got meat ready to go. Like, it seems like he's been waiting almost any day for Shimmermane to come back, and he is attentive. He's excited, and Shimmermane even seems to just take to him. Like, they're forming a bond. You visit the temple. There's far more people in there to Tempest.
You've grown it.
I mean, it seems almost fairly... There's maybe 5 to 10 people at any given time coming in, stopping through. I mean, a handful still go to the other shrines there, and they want to ask you legitimate questions of not just of Tempest teachings, which are still a little bit like, but they ask you about yourself and your battles that you fought. I mean, they are on the edge of their seat.
I think Henry would kind of miss his old peaceful. He appreciates both, but
Nobody knew him.
Yeah,
I mean,
when he was a nobody and could just go to the temple and sit down and quiet and pray, but he would obviously be friendly to all the people and grateful that they're interested in Tempest despite his. I'm sure it also feels a little weird, him feeling farther from Tempest, and all these people are like, yeah, Tempest is awesome. He's like, well, yeah, but where is he though?
yeah. You feel almost a hollow bell ringing on the inside where you know that when they pray, they're not going to be able to reach him. Not in that way.
His phone's broken.
Yeah. You pray and you get back new phone for this. Did you take a level of fighter or did you stick with cleric? It'd be cool if eventually you're so caught up.
Yeah.
You can't take cleric.
Lore-wise, I liked it.
Yeah.
At least he's like, but player
I
wise,
couldn't justify the
level-wise,
mechanics.
cleric's so good. Yeah.
And to reiterate,
Right.
you
Yeah.
only feel like you yourself are continually more powerful.
And more divinely powerful.
When you hold your weapon, it almost feels like it's charged when it's in your hands. But yes, you just, for whatever reason, cannot feel the presence of Tempest. But you yourself,
And I think maybe gradually he would determine that that's what the presence is now, is just power through. That's Tempest's way of showing his presence.
could be. I think the only alarming piece is that, the others, including the other priest, still is like, he seems all about you, but as he confides in you, he's I still don't feel Tempest, but he also speaks, he's like, but I mean, I see his works in you. I mean, I see it. I see Tempest, but I don't feel him. Do you regale people at the tavern or not?
I think it would probably be a reluctant, like he wouldn't want to at first.
Feeling
not
less of a
feeling it,
hero.
still
Yeah.
feel it, still feeling a little.
he'd be
calm.
sitting on his own, but I think probably he'd eventually be like kind of warm up to it, and then he probably does enjoy it, right? So yeah, he would do a performance. He'd tell the tale. I think he'd just tell the story of what they had done. I don't think if all of the Zentrum can be there, he'll tell them exactly what happened. I mean, he would leave out any really terrifying details,
Yeah.
about exactly what's going on. He'd be like, and then,
I mean, per usual, again, they're already primed for you. They're ready when you walk in the door. And there's a couple of those refugees in here that are legitimately like, that is how it happened. This is what was there. I mean, they're corroborating what you're saying, which to other people makes it even more mind-blowing what you've done. I'll let you guys chill in Red Larch. You're going to make it to Golden Leaf, and we'll come back to
I
you.
just died anyways.
I wanted to actually, before they left, I wanted to give them some money to buy some components to make potions.
You would have done that? Absolutely.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna go die. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Oh god.
So I'll give them 200 gold.
He sent you with a list and 200 gold of various components that he kind of needs for spells.
I think I aspirated some LaCroix there.
We're just
I
going to
have
assume.
pneumonia
I
now.
just,
Put that
I just
all
want to
on
start
components
breathing
now.
it like in the
Right.
abyss when
Oh,
they
yeah.
learn how to breathe. And you gotta die first, but
And
then-
I'll just have to communicate with you on my thing.
But I'll have my helmet
I don't
of
want-
LaCroix in there and just...
At the end of our long D&D session, one-way trip. God, I love the abyss. All right, sorry.
Alright. He sent you with the money and the components. Most of the Zentrum leave you alone, Nas, unless you want to talk
No,
to them.
I'm just gonna find a room, like during the day, and I just open my book, and I just start consuming it.
You're going through, and again, now more of it's making sense. There's still so much of it that
Yeah.
you don't get. You're like, I see it now. And somewhere deep in there, there's some, like, for moments you almost start marveling at Kaliar's brilliance. Like, you knew he was a cold-blooded killer.
Right.
You knew that he had a brilliant mind for it. But some of the pieces of the spells in here, it almost doesn't look like he learned them from research. It looks like he figured them out, and that they were his spells that he wrote.
Yeah, I feel like that, one, humbles Nos because he thinks he's smarter than everyone. And two, I think it also, he realizes how fucking lucky he was to get that shot off and deal with Kaliar. Like, it was probably just, and I think the only reason it even worked is because he didn't think about it ahead of time. He planned it very, very quickly, but it wasn't like he never interacted with him, and it was just because Kaliar would have figured it out.
It was smart, but it wasn't perfect. Which
Exactly.
made it good.
Yeah.
Like, if it were perfect, you think Kaliar would have been like, that's a perfect trap. I'm not walking into
Yeah,
it.
exactly. The imperfect track, and that's why I planned it. And I didn't, when I wrote it out, that's part of my description was I wasn't trying to hit him in the heart. I wasn't trying to shoot him in the eye. I just wanted to nick him with the crossbow bolt and have him die a slow death for the poison.
Mm-hmm. You don't recognize that you do it. You read for over a full day without sleeping.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you don't. It's day when you started, and it's day when you stop.
I'm like, was it like an hour passed? Why am I so hungry?
And you, as you kind of emerge at one point, you realize that so much work has been done, and you almost half remember it that you.
It's not like I can look at my watch or my phone and see the date.
But you're confused. I
Yeah.
mean, you almost don't know how many days
Right.
have gone by that you just sat and like just looked at this book, and there's pieces of it going just rapidly through your mind.
Yeah, I think he forgets about everything when he's reading it. Like, he doesn't think about what's happening in the world. He doesn't think about his friends. He doesn't think about that he's being hunted. He doesn't think about any of that stuff. All he thinks about is, how can I untap more of this knowledge in this book?
And you visualize it the same way that you've been taught to visualize a hit, how to visualize a tactic, that you visualize yourself using the spells for good and ill. Like, some of the darker parts of you, I mean, you're like, yeah, I light them all on fire. I mean, you just, you can see yourself doing it.
Well,
with
the
various
thought of using Shadowblade as an assassin weapon, no evidence left behind.
Mhm.
And it just, psychic energy slays them. And, you know, he gets a chill, he gets excited about it, and then just kind of has to, like, because he does like the thrill of the hunt, and he has no problem killing, and there's a part of him that does enjoy it.
He gets taken by the vapors.
The vapors.
He's like,
the sword coast.
But there's also a part of him as he's doing it, he realizes, like, how much he needs the two of them to balance him.
You catch a look of yourself in, I think you're
Hair.
in the water that you probably have,
Right.
in like a goblet, and you happen to, it's out of the periphery of your eye, and you have just a smile on your face as you're reading that sickens you, because it's a look that Kaliar had as he was
right.
studying. It's a sideways smile. It's a smile of
If I
intelligence.
see myself doing that, I'll close the book and I, like, throw it across the room. And just, I don't even worry about where it went, and I walk outside.
It lands, but the thud it hits almost pangs your heart as you feel it go so far from you and hit the floor.
It'll hit the floor, and he walks out, and he kind of stops, and kind of looks back at it, and just kind of breaks away. And
It landed
goes outside.
heavier than it should have for
Right.
a book of that size and weight.
it's precious to me.
It is precious.
We'll cut back
Yep.
to you guys. You guys have taken off. You've landed in Golden Leaf. Per usual, as soon as you kind of fly into town and get almost within what feels like the dome of the town, as much tension as you've had, you just feel like a release and a relaxation. You feel safe. And this entire time that you've been gone, no moment have you felt safe. And so and you didn't necessarily recognize that you didn't feel safe until you did. It's like getting the right amount of sleep. You're like, I didn't realize how tired I was, and now I slept. But you guys land.
I think the first thing he would do is go buy a new pair of clothes and have a bath before he's going to go meet with Nithbis. I mean, on the quickness, he's not going to go soak for like 3 hours.
You easily do. You go to that same little inn, what's the bird's name?
Oh god, the horny toad.
No,
that's not the
bird.
Tutoric.
The Tutoric,
Yep.
yes. You go to the Tutoric because it's, again, it's quiet. It overlooks the hedge maze and the Tower of Nithbis. There's so many clothiers there that you can get just about any outfit you want. But
I'm going to drop 10 gold to buy 2 outfits, fine clothes, as he's a high roller, so he ain't going to be looking like no commoner.
You soak, shave.
Yeah.
You cut off some of the lower bits of your hair.
Yep.
As you regard yourself in a concave mirror that somewhat distorts you. You can see yourself again, though. But you don't look wholly the same as you've remembered yourself for most of your life.
Yep. Yeah, he would do the long, look at himself, too.
Yep.
Go find the stalwart.
Anything you did in the meantime?
I think he may pay somebody to polish his armor, make him feel like he's cleaning off the last things he did, and probably, I guess since he's feeling a little more relaxed and safe, he might have a meal. He's probably in Red Lurch. I think he was probably anxious and feeling a little better.
If people still don't know you here,
he feels like he can be alone and at peace.
And I mean, there's so many adventurers and warriors that come through here that
It's relieved to
you
be a
seem like
nobody
another
again.
very capable one,
Yeah.
but everyone's like, good luck. I mean, and there are people making bank to polish all the armor that comes through Golden Leaf. It's easily done. They do marvel at it because you did take that Feathergale Knight's armor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And it had some kind of etchings on it, didn't it?
Ornate. I mean, there's no specific gods. But it has gold that kind of comes through and curls. I mean, now you've got some good dents and holes in it, but overall, it's worth more than your typical plate mail because of how finely it's made. And then you have a nail in the horny toad, and it's peaceful. There's some people are not rowdy, like too drunk, but they're clearly having a relaxing good time, and nobody says a word to you.
I think he's very grateful, and he's very quiet with the. Is it an inn? Or
Tavern.
Innkeep, barkeep, whatever.
Yeah, it's
And just says as little as he can and just sits in his thoughts.
it's Veta. Veta is the. She seems to half recognize you, but she knows she's seen you before, but she can't place it, and she doesn't engage if you don't.
Pretty high traffic.
I think at one point it might dawn on him that at another time he would have visited a temple of some kind and prayed, but not that he's never going to again, just that he's like, today, he just wants to be in his thoughts.
Yeah. And there's not really one to tempt us here. There's a lot of groves and things, and most of them are nature related. So there's one to Anilor. There's a couple small figurines of gods that people set in them. There's a bust that people built of Nithbis that they put offerings to. Doesn't look like they're ever taken off, so it just kind of piles up. And mostly it's fruits, flowers, not really gold or valuables. So there wouldn't be much place to go anyway. You guys meet back up at the inn.
Yep.
I think we should get going.
We're supposed to get on with it.
That's good. No, but he would look pretty fresh right now. I think.
Henry probably knows.
No, he
He probably wouldn't
kidding
say
about
about
that.
Your hair looks nice.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to notice.
Is that a new scent?
Yeah, I think we would head to.
Then we kiss. Let's act that out.
Okay.
Okay.
Order of
head
Rorik.
to Order of Rorik. Yep.
All right. You guys get your audience with Bashar. Takes a while. The typical, like,
Yep.
it's
The
busy.
line.
You guys come in and Bashar's there. I mean, he actually stands up this time, which you know every other time he kind of just stayed seated.
Oh yeah.
He's like, Stalwart, Lord Broderick.
Broderick would bow quite deeply to him.
It's good to see you, Bashar.
You as well.
I have a bit of an urgent request, actually. You know I wouldn't be saying this for something idle or trivial. We need to speak with Nithbis. It's quite important. I guarantee you it'll be worth her while.
I understand. Lady Nithbis said to watch out for you after your last meeting.
That is a relief. I was afraid you might turn us away. I'm sure everyone wants an audience with the lady.
Less than you'd think. Some are afraid of her.
As well they should be.
It doesn't even stutter. It's true. He goes off. It takes a while. It's like, go to the hedge maze. I mean, it's actually a pretty quick turnaround time. And you guys head that way.
All right, we will.
As you start making turns, the hedges seem to open up to you. To your path, you make it. You make another turn, and it seems to be clearly guiding you to somewhat of an inner sanctum. And you find that it's the same spot that you met last time. It's kind of in a bit of a crescent, and there's a stone bench there. And Nithbis is sitting there with staff in hand. And there are Tudorics and other birds flying around her.
I think Broderick would bow quite deeply.
My lady, ever so sorry to disturb thee.
You're not disturbing me. Like I have my studies and running things here. But I've been concerned with what you told me last time.
Well, I won't waste your time with small talk. I'll get right to it then. We cleared out a keep of theirs, a monastery of sorts. And in this monastery there was, well, something ancient, my lady, a lich.
She stops for a moment. Did he say his name?
She did. He did. It was the thing I can't remember. Renwick. Yes.
I remember it's Khaldun?
Renwick.
Caradun.
Caradun.
She sits back. You almost see a bit of relief for a moment, which seems strange to you.
Expecting another name.
I've faced a lich before. And I've had dark dreams of late. Of that same lich. Most of my library comes from him. Lots of knowledge. A lich is nothing to trifle with.
Yes, I've learned my lesson in that regard. But his brother and he formed an order which you probably know about, Knights of Samalar.
It's like, it comes to me, the book I gave you. She was like, Samalar Caradun and Renwick Caradun. I said he had been fed the lich potion. I'd heard rumors, but awfully quiet for a lich.
He seemed obsessed with something, my lady. A hill looked vaguely like a skull. We could see what he was staring at. Seemed quite intent on it, actually. It meant nothing to me.
It looked like a skull. I'll look into that myself. Thank you.
But that wasn't fully why we were here. There was another keep which we took. The Riverguard Keep. There seemed to be 4 different cults, all at odds with each other. The various aspects of the material plane, if you will. Earth, air, water, presumably fire, the other 3 keeps. My comrades and I have cleared out. But each of them are but a gateway to something deeper and darker. All 3 hide an entrance to something beneath.
Did we hear that they were ruins?
They were like dwarven.
Dwarven City, I thought we had.
You heard it was specifically named Tar Besil, an ancient dwarven city.
Tarbessa?
Tar
Besil?
Besil.
Besil. Alright, cool.
Besil.
Yeah, so he would say.
We heard that an ancient, massive dwarven city lay beneath that region of Tarbasil.
She's like, Tar Besil. It seems like she's recalling information. She's like, the Lost Dwarven City. She's like, disappeared off the face of the map. Every entrance has been gone. You say these keeps held the entrance?
I believe all 4 of them possess an entrance. But that gets even stranger, my lady. They seem to be at odds with each other. Step in if I'm leaving anything out. I'm quite tired from riding on Shimmermane for days now.
You're covering all that I remember.
Feel free to take over if you want to. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
You're losing your voice?
A little bit, and also I have LaCroix lung.
Yes, Stalwart, tell me. What else?
Well, we did strike a deal with this lich. Probably not. Well, one of us
Nervous
did.
laughter.
Yeah, exactly.
One of us did.
A deal with a lich.
As I said, my lady, I'm never too old to learn a new lesson.
We're undecided on keeping up our
She
end.
legitimately
Tail flicking back and
rubs
forth.
her forehead, runs her hands over her horns. She's like, continue, please.
The brother of this lich, whose name you seem to know, his body is in
Summit Hall.
Summit Hall.
Oh,
We are to retrieve it. We have not yet decided on the means by which we will do that, or how hard we will try, to be honest.
there seem to be bigger fish to fry, if you'll mind the metaphor.
All that to say, do you know the nature of the people we'll find at Summit Hall?
Absolutely. Then the Knights of Samalon, you've no doubt heard about them. Perhaps the most well-regarded order of knights that the Sword Coast has ever seen. They have stretched back hundreds of years since the brother of the Lich, Samalar Caradun, founded them. And that is his chosen resting place.
Then, my lady, you may forgive me, but I think I may, at whatever personal detriment.
I think he kind of looks up in the air, like wondering if he could be listened to.
Not uphold that bargain, and it pains me to say so.
Perhaps we'll ask nicely, say we gave it a shot.
I don't think the Lich will be interested in us giving it a shot, but perhaps.
But at least we won't have broken our word completely.
But there's so much more to deal with. These cultists are at odds with each other. As we defeat one, we only strengthen the remainder. Our next target is the final keep of the Scarlet Moon, I think it was called.
You said the Scarlet Moon.
Yes.
Basha and some of the other people who have been sent out said that they've been finding druids heading that way.
For
I
good
should-
or ill.
I say druids, I should say wannabe druids. Some I had to escort out of here as they seem to not take my polite rejection of not wanting to see them a bit personally. Not that they were nefarious by any means, but once you do big deeds, sometimes people only want to see you. There's a odd level of fame that comes with it. Some of them even attach horns to their heads, ceremonially.
Heavy is the head that wears the horns, my lady.
She laughs, and you see, sharp
teeth,
sharp
like an
teeth.
eat stone.
Yep.
Stop making her smile.
I suppose so. And you said these are elemental cults.
Yes.
I suppose this is right up your alley, Stalwart.
I suppose. One of the elements of whose cult we rid seems to have torn down Feathergill Keep. So I wonder if our work is going wasted. Not wasted. Do you know anything of what tore down Feathergill Keep? We see it split in half, right?
I've sent people out looking for what happened to Amtel. I assume that's the same. The town wiped off the face of the map concerns me greatly, and
that
whatever
we
could
have
do
learned
such a
something
thing.
about. Some kind of crystals,
Yes.
of which someone held currently at Summit Hall supposedly knows a thing or two about.
The stalwart gets to our point. We believe the Knights of Samalar can be of assistance to us, and we do have a token to show them that we are legitimate. We've recovered the armor of one of their order. But my lady, we must ask you a favor. Your backing, we believe, would carry much weight with them. Well, frankly, we know we're on the front lines against this growing menace. I didn't want to waste much time negotiating with them. We have to find out what destroyed that town. And we believe the key is there.
I couldn't agree more. You see her bag suddenly, and she starts dumping it out.
How many fingers fall out?
Fingers.
Entrails, acorns, pieces of anatomy that you don't know.
A live snake.
they're from. Yeah. And scrolls are coming out, and she has parchment and paper. And things are slithering past your feet. You have to pick up a little bit. And she begins writing. She's like, if this should hold weight, I hope that they will listen. But we need to find out what those crystals are.
Of course, my lady. Is there a faster way we could contact you? A scroll of sending, perhaps?
I assume we know what sending is. It's
Yeah.
probably-
She's like, yes. She's like, contact me, you should need me. Apprise me if you need to about the Lich.
I will.
If he's contained where he is now, I'm assuming he isn't allied with any of these cults.
No, definitely not. And as I said, he seemed to be keeping to himself as much as a lich may keep to himself. Didn't strike me as outright evil, my lady, not like others. The stories have certainly come to light.
Did he kill some of the cultists? Am I remembering that right? Didn't somebody...
Yeah.
Some of them that knocked on his door or didn't go away.
Took an opportunity. Yeah, it was like ogres and Orog. And you watch them in a cloud
Like a green cloud.
be unceremoniously choked as he walked into the garden.
I think Henrik would say, we were spared as others weren't, so clearly he has some standards by which he decides who lives or dies. And we met them, and some clearly evil did not, whatever that means.
Logically, you have a lich not working for a cult, holding a stronghold in an entrance to a cult temple.
Not ideal.
I don't know. For now, it's fine. She's like, I doubt anything will get past a lich. Like, few things could, including yourselves.
I agree, my lady.
Should you need help with the lich, let me know.
Of
I, in
course.
fact, have a few questions I might like to ask this Lich, but for now, he seems to be serving his purpose. This, you can take to Summit Hall.
I think he would take it gingerly and stick it in his
This
own.
is the one to contact me should you need it. I will come as soon as I can, or I will send somebody to come. I will be sending out other people to investigate these cults and see what we can find.
That is wise.
Backup PCs.
Yep.
Did we say?
Maybe around level 6, level 7.
Ish.
I can't remember. In our conversation, did we say we were going to tell her about this interim?
You did.
We did.
I didn't want to
Yep. No. Go for it.
There's one more thing that is perhaps not ideal, but similar to the situation with the Lich. Riverguard Keep is no longer held by cultists, but instead is held by the Zhentarim. You kind of look down as he says that.
Let me get this right. You've cleared out 3 keeps. 1 has been destroyed. 1 is in possession by a Lich, and the 3rd is now owned by the Black Network.
When you break it down to the essentials, yes, my lady, that is accurate, yes.
The motto seems to have become the lesser of 2 to 5 evils.
She laughs again. I like you too. And you've done good work. The Zhentarim for now are, I suppose, a lower concern to these cults. But they are a concern.
To you and me both.
For now, the same logic applies, though. You have 2 less than savory things watching the entrances to far more unsavory things.
At the very least, we do not believe the Zhentarim know about theirs. In fact, we have the only key that we know of.
Well, I imagine even beyond that they're far more protected. Even if they venture down into Tar Vessel, I think only accomplished people could make it through there. The Zhentarim are strong in numbers and crafty, but they only possess a few who could make it through that.
What would you have us do, my lady? Our next target was Summit Hall, after which we plan to go to the Keep of the Scarlet Moon.
At this point, as I'm sure the 2 of you have been before, you're the tip of the spear. It's like you know the most, you've cleared out the most. And frankly, you've had success the entire way. It's easy.
What could go wrong?
It's easy to get lost on the path. Not all of my friends made it, and we didn't have an end goal in mind. But we just kept pushing, one thing at a time. And that took us all the way to Tiamat.
Succeed you did, my lady, and we shall do our best not to disappoint you.
It wouldn't be disappointing me. But there's people that are riding on it. And I will send out people throughout the Silver Hills. I'll figure out what I can about these crystals as well. I'll try to find out about these cults. The Order of Rorik will now be quite active in the area.
Well, that lessens my fear. Thank you.
Thank you both. Is there anything else?
Can I get a Vorpal sword? That will be all. Thank you. We very much appreciate the time.
I appreciate you. Don't lose hope. And as the hedges part behind her, she conjures a number of different animals that lead you out. There's rabbits, squirrels. There's birds that, almost announce your presence as you come out of the hedge maze.
I think Brojack was trying to do the old man like just being jazzed on it, looking at them all.
You guys head back.
I think so. I don't think we waste much time.
Anything you want to buy in town?
Yeah, healing potions. Can we buy some healing potions?
Okay.
tight.
As many
And
as
you'll
we're
get
allowed.
his components.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much are healing potions? I forget.
50-50.
And I assume you're gonna cap. I mean, I'm not gonna buy 100 of them. Buy up to 2 each.
You can have up to 2 each, including for
Yep.
costs.
Cool. I'm gonna make them.
All right, you're gonna make 2, so you guys can buy 2 each, but you know he's gonna make them. So
Okay.
I would let one of those be a greater healing potion in golden leaf
All right.
for the actual price of what it is. So
300?
might be
I'm pretty broke. I'm just gonna buy a regular one.
okay.
Yeah, they're not cheap. I can actually make greater healing
It's
for
not
150.
Not much to spend gold on.
If assuming it's 300, I'd have to look in the Xanthars.
We're gonna cut. You guys
Yep,
are now doing
yep.
that back in flight. You've been at the River Guard for a few days.
I think at one point I would have used a sending stone to talk to Wormburl.
Margabar.
Yeah, and basically update him on what's happened
Okay. I mean, he's
as
on-
per our agreement.
He takes it. I mean, he hears it. He asks a lot of questions.
I don't hold anything back.
And
Yeah,
he
except like the key down below and where we're going next. Like he doesn't need to know that information.
he does try to reiterate. He's like, I'll tell you, Shadowblade. Whoever's at Summit Hall used to be somebody of some renown. I think that they hold answers. Whatever took out Amtil can't hit Red Lodge, can't hit another place.
Well, we intend to go there as soon as we have some more ammunition.
Don't go storming the keep now.
Ammunition doesn't necessarily mean
Oh, I know.
spells or power.
Information and handshakes.
Exactly.
I get it. Hey, Rude Boy. You're doing good work.
You remember that.
Oh, I do. You made a lot of people real happy. As he says it, you look around. I mean, boats have come in, cargo's gone out, security is bolstered in short order of a couple days.
I mean, he's really torn because he's happy. I mean, he does like Marlborough, because he actually kind of respects him because he's not like a killer. He's just a brilliant guy who knows how to play the game.
He looks like he would have no idea what to do
Right,
if somebody.
but I respect that more than martial prowess, being able to play the game because he likes to play the game.
Mhm.
You know, but at the same time, he feels like there's a little bit of security knowing that they might have his back at the same time, but he also knows he cannot trust them in the end. These are the only two that he thinks he can even come close to even trusting, or has come close to even trusting. So there definitely is kind of a dichotomy there, kind of a battle internally between the two.
I think you have enough insight that I don't know. You feel like you have a good enough relationship with Margabarl that he doesn't look like he's in the business of telling people where people are to get assassinated.
No.
But just in general, that Renobi, you feel like you got to beat on, but you also don't feel like you got to beat on.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh no, she's a wild card. Yep. But I think again, my intent at this point is to go scout it out before they get back.
Okay.
So I'll make arrangements to.
I'll let you have made the healing potions. In the meantime, I think you've had
Okay.
a good couple of days.
But I don't have the components to do it.
Oh, is it that what you're waiting on?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. We'll give you time to do
Yeah.
that.
I don't want to.
I
I
feel you.
want to be realistic.
I got you. You get them to take you across the river.
Right, yeah.
It takes a barge to do it. And Renobi is curious, she's like, where are you heading?
Just going for a little walk in the woods, clearing my head.
Any place interesting?
Probably not. I'm outwardly lying to her.
She doesn't need a check. And
Yeah.
She's like, okay. And she heads She heads
Fine.
She heads back in. Doesn't seem the least bit mad about it.
I didn't think she would
But
be.
takes a good like you do see as you kind of catch behind your back that she's watching you go almost the entire way. It does. It takes you a day.
Okay.
I'm not gonna make you roll for it. You have a couple minor run-ins with just wild animals.
Well, I do have invisibility now.
Oh, okay. Well then,
So just if this helps with my spells to get by some of this crap, I've got jump, spider climb, invisibility, disguise self.
I'm gonna say you cleverly knowing that there are beasts around, you manage to kill a couple if you have to,
Yeah.
but for the most part, you make it no problem. And you come to the hilly region, and there's a larger hill, and you can see what looks almost like a small tower on top of it, but it looks, it's squared. It almost looks like a windmill. Like it should be a windmill.
So it's
but
not like a keep or anything like that?
it's big enough, but no, it's not.
Just tall, like a tall... What's it made of?
It looks like it's mortar. It looks like it's mostly wood, though.
Oh,
It's got
okay.
some stone.
Right.
I mean, it's
So
on
it
the
can burn.
It's on the top of a hill.
If there's one thing I've learned about windmills in D&D, don't go anywhere near
Really?
it.
Why? I remember the last time was pretty successful.
But I'll tell you, looking up, visible through the haze that covers the hill is a square tower ringed by ruined walls. In front of the tower burns a bonfire shaped like a fiery giant. That's what you see. It looks like they've built...
Like it looks like a fiery giant standing there?
It looks like they've built up like a bunch of wicker in the shape of like
okay.
a man,
Yeah.
and it's burning, and you can see them building another one right next to it.
Straight up Wicker Man.
Does it look ritual like?
Yes, it looks very much ritual-like, but it's like the giant shape of a man with arm outstretched, or a humanoid.
Right.
And I mean, they've got a bonfire, and it's burning it up, so it's blowing, and there's a haze that covers the valley. What you also see is, though there's only one tower, there's a ton of small encampments and tents that lead all around the hill, kind of leading up. There's a trail that leads right up to it, but it's a bunch of, some look like makeshift, some look nice-ish, but it also looks like the type of tents you make when you're making kind of a permanent camp somewhere.
We're looking at like hundreds of people?
No, let me tell you, there's 4.
Do they seem to be guarding the road going up to it?
You see a couple people that look a little bit like they're patrolling? No.
But these camps are positioned near the road as it snakes up the hill.
As it snakes up, and there's about 15 to 20 tents. Looks like a couple people would be in either
Wow,
camp.
that's still a lot of people.
But they are a little spread out, though.
Okay.
So
And you said there's a haze?
there's a,
What's
from
the smoke?
and in fact,
Oh.
you're having trouble seeing that
Okay.
far. Like even with your vision, you're like,
I'm getting like wind might blow and might catch a little glimpse through it or something.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's almost like it's just completely surrounded.
Like a
in-
forest fire kind of
Yes.
thing. Huh.
And you're like, and it burns your eyes, even with your like, you're seeing in darkness. You're like, it's not even that. It's just like,
Yeah.
you gotta,
We would like wrap a rag around his face, maybe wet it a bit, and he. Basically, what I want to do is I just want to do a big circle around it and see if there's anywhere that we could get to that tower without having to fight our way through like hundreds of people in those tents.
I mean, as you go through, you look at the backside of the tower from the other side of the hill, and it is a ruined wall. But you ascend enough to try to get a good view on it as best you can, and you feel fairly confident that most people also can't see in this haze, so you can get pretty close.
Okay.
But you see that the people on the inside of the wall don't look like slouches. They definitely look
More like soldiers.
more
like
like
a mix?
proficient spellcasters,
Oh,
and
great.
and looks like a couple soldiers. But whereas you've kind of scouted out some of the other ones, some people look like they're keeping to themselves. You do see like a couple with, just by looking at them in their kind of the natural garb they have. They're young. They're almost teenagers to early 20s. They're dressed like druids. They aren't acting like druids though. Not that they're
Like they're disguising themselves.
no, like kind of like, you know how a druid would be, and it's almost like if you were trying to, like, be a druid, but you didn't know how to be a druid.
Oh, okay. So, poser druids.
So this is Burning Man Festival.
Yes. This is Burning Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I escaped.
Tattooing, like doing henna on each other.
Yeah, there's somebody spitting
Dance.
fire. People are doing the pass the orb dance, where there's this orb and you gotta pass it.
Bobbing for apples.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the Burning Man of the Sword Coast. Bobbing for apples? That debauchery.
Heavens no.
Some groups in there, the tents, they don't necessarily look like they're all aligned, but some of them, as you get close, you notice that nobody finds it strange that you're walking around here. Nobody questions
Like
you.
people have seen me?
If you wanted to get that close, you could.
I don't think you would.
Okay. Nobody seems to be looking around. I mean, I'll
Like
say
they're all kind of consumed with their own little things.
some look a little shifty from what you can
Yeah.
tell. Some, again,
So like cliquish.
a little
Like
bit.
they're kind of their own little.
Even though they're clicks, though, I'd say that you would notice that
Yeah.
people kind of walk close to other camps, and nobody seems to seem like it's strange.
waiting for something?
Some of them are going up to help with the second wicker man that they're
Right.
trying to build.
Not the beads.
Some of them go up to clearly worship the like the burning bonfire.
Right.
Yes and no. You're like, I mean, they're here for
Yeah, I
some
didn't think-
reason, but
So you said they're all on kind of the front side of the hill,
they are.
right? Is the back like a cliff?
It's steeper for sure. No, actually, it's not. The problem is you got close due to the haze. There's no hiding on the backside. The tent's going up, yes, but the road leading up the backside, you're like, you're like, even with the haze, man, this is a clear sight line.
Right. It would have to do it at night. But it looks like, Grandpa and Cranky Boy can make their way up there.
Cranky.
Oh yeah,
With
yeah, you would think so. And a lot of the wall's ruined, so it wouldn't take much to legitimately walk right in. But
so the wall is ruined. Is this windmill tower of death ruined?
you can't really see the front, but you see a lot of scaffolding around it. You can't
Scaffolding that looks like it's supporting it, or
like it's supporting it, like it's being slightly worked on. Maybe with this haze, you cannot make out the detail. But you're like, that looks like it's almost holding it up.
Huh. Do I see any lights at the tower?
Yeah, you do.
So it's occupied.
Yes.
There's not just the people camped outside of it.
No, and within these ruined walls in the tower, that's where you see like.
So there's a set of walls around it. There's a hill, a set of
I'll
wall,
draw
and then a
little
tower.
little mini thing about.
I just want to
you
keep
see
doing
here.
this.
Oh my god, that's a Sharpie. Why is that here?
Did you really pick up the Sharpie?
Raven.
That was her fault.
She wasn't here to throw it. She's the one who protects
I'm glad that
everyone
Lydia
else.
came down and stole the candy and never
Yeah.
came back.
Yeah. That's how she rolls.
All right, so you have kind of a square tower here. You see scaffolding on it.
I don't want any. I was just kidding.
No, but I do now.
Oh, so I said.
Anyone
This
else? Sean, eat the rest of these red vines for me.
Oh, I will. I wanted the big bag though.
I don't want one red vine. I want all red vines.
Are those Sour Patch Kids for you?
Please, I don't know. There was another.
There's only 4
Did
boxes
you
over
open the
there.
box of these, Sean?
I did.
You got them over
I
here.
did. What of it?
Is it over here or was that last time? I forget.
It was last time that I ate.
Thanks. I'm just
These are the camps.
Yeah, this is not fully accurate,
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah.
but this is kind of what you're seeing. So this is a bit of like kind of the hill up here, like the full ascent. But this backside is slower, and there's just nothing back here.
Like it's wide open.
Pretty wide open.
Okay.
I mean, you know enough that you're like, I mean, that's an easy sight line.
Yeah.
But the camps around here
They probably have
are
their own fires
spread
too.
out.
Is there more haze on the front of it? Because there. Where's the wicker?
The
giant.
wicker giant is
Okay, so there's probably more.
right
things on
here,
the
and they're
front.
building a second. So there is more over this way,
Right.
but depending on how the wind goes,
Okay.
you know, it'll catch. This whole area is
Is that where the scaffolding is? Or is that the entrance?
scaffolding. So you
Okay.
got scaffolding on a lot of sides.
Okay. All right. Well, he would do his best to just roughly sketch it out.
You feel like you got you stay for as long as you think you're going to glean useful information.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you've got essentially you have a lot of unknowns.
Mhm.
Like
Oh yeah.
what I see is not necessarily alarming. What I don't see is what's alarming.
Okay. All right. Well, then he would.
Head back.
Yep.
All right. Days pass. All of you make it back to Riverguard Keep.
I think as we come in, Broderick would sigh at the sight of the now probably fully operational Zentrum operation.
Fully armed and operational.
This keep is the ultimate power on the Deseret River.
Cool. Part of the empire. I like it.
Yeah, nice job.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, we would land and seek out our friend Nas.
Friend.
You see them coming. You tell me if I'm wrong. After the book, after seeing all that, I feel like you're watching.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
them,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
missing them.
Yeah.
Unless you don't think so.
No. I think I think he's missing him more than he thought he would.
You spent about 6 days apart from them now, and so that distance is there. How do you
I'm
guys?
sure you tell us you missed us.
How do you guys feel knowing that you're
Oh my
coming back? Leaving Golden Leaf. As soon as you set out, you feel that, at least to some degree, the level of peril, and you're going back to Nas and the Zentrum. What are y'all's feelings?
Probably every day that we leave is a little heavier, a little less,
A little more
jovial.
stressful.
I think Henrik's ready to move on.
Yeah, I think Broderick's ready to not be at Riverguard Keep anymore.
Yeah.
Just a
Lose
grim
himself.
reminder of a sore spot.
And you see exactly what you. Yes, exactly.
And in fact, as I see them, like as I'm probably on the parapet watching for them. As I see them, I go back in my room. I get my gear, and I have everything ready to go when they land.
You guys see that he's waiting outside as the chopper of Shimmermane hovers around.
I'm like covering my eyes.
The grass.
I want the
comes down.
MASH music playing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
We're gonna have to clear that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we just got sued.
We just got sued. Ow!
Publicity would be good.
Uh huh. Yeah, I think we land and
Well, the lady was receptive.
Good. Let's get out of here.
Let's go.
I've been here long enough.
So have we, and we only just landed.
I understand.
yeah, I think we would dip immediately. I would kindly ask the stalwart to get off Shimmermane, who I'm sure is excited about the more than halving the weight on her.
Noticeably.
She looks like a broken mare with a little indent in the back.
An incredibly strong man in full plate armor. However good the rider is, she's like,
He'd be scruffing her neck and like, thank you, good job, girl. Be patting her.
did you guys send your horses away with Roddy, or do you have them?
No, we sent them with them
Send
to
them.
show the people would be able to. So we, yeah, we're on horses.
Good job, heroes.
Well, not
I
everyone.
wouldn't say we're heroes.
And he wouldn't say I'm a hero.
Well, all of us
Bad,
but
bad
no.
news.
Oh yeah, he's not really. He used to be one. Now he's not one. He's kind of a dick.
Trust is a hard thing to gain and an easy thing to lose, my son.
You're not my dad.
Okay. we're gonna take another quick break, and when we come back, you guys will enter Summit.
Scarlet.
Woo! Oh, you want to go to Summit?
No, I just wanted to throw you another wrench.
Like, we can fucking do this, y'all.
Be right back, everybody.
We'll be back. Welcome back, everyone, to Princes of the Apocalypse. Our heroes have traveled for about 2 days, and you guys have come far to the east. You guys are pretty much past the Somber Hills now, over the Desert Valley, and you're actually really close to the High Forest.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
way the hell over.
Yeah.
I know where that is.
You do, as Henrik. You as Andrew don't.
Don't know shit.
You don't know me.
And you get it's the topmost part of the High Forest that is kind of what wedges in between the Desert and Valley. So you do it. The High Forest then stretches down a good ways, but you're just at the very edge of it. And you see on top of, again, it's almost kind of like a raised hill. I mean, you see a stronghold. It's high. It's got high walls. I mean, it's a castle. It's stone. It's got battlements. It's fortified. You see stables. You see knights clearly walking on the road. All of them are full armor, fully armed.
Out of respect, I wouldn't come swooping in. I would definitely land. I mean, again, I'm keeping aerial patrol.
And-
I'm on combat air patrol for the group.
And I mean, as you flew, especially with your goggles, I mean, you can kind of see within the walls. You can see training happening.
Yeah.
Like you can't make out the exact figures, but you can see kind of the lines of rows of swords going down one way, then the other way.
Yeah, would land and lead Shimmerman in. Bless you.
It's true.
All right. You guys come up, and it's large 2 wooden doors, the heavy large doors that go up maybe 20 feet. They're open. They're standing open. You've seen knights kind of on the way and said hail. They haven't stopped you by any means, and they seem quite pleasant. Hail, hail. And some are on horses, clearly heading out. You guys come right up to the gate, and there's clearly 2 kind of sentries outside.
Yeah. Broderick would.
Hello. We're here with business about one of your order. Several of them, actually. May we speak with your Lord Commander?
Absolutely. Kind of glazes over you. It's like Stalwart.
Yes.
Go to shape.
Good to meet you. I'm Henrik. I
I'm,
don't care about your name. Fuck off.
I'm what?
I'm Stavros.
And what's his name? Just kidding.
Not important. Sentry 2. He hasn't got his Screen Actors Guild card yet. He's like, well, stalwarts of Tempest are always welcome in the homes of Tyr.
Thank you.
Yes, I can lead you
Thank you.
right to the Lord Commander.
Can I put Shimmermane in the stables first?
He takes a moment to regard it. He's like, yes, of course, my lord.
Can they accommodate her?
They can accommodate.
Thank you.
He leads you in. He kind of nods to the other one, and the other one takes almost a more center stance. I mean, it is trained for sure. They don't look like they're expecting danger right at the moment,
But it's protocol.
yeah.
So as we're going in, I'm looking for like egress points and windows that are unbarred, and I just kind of go through the whole thing in my head in case shit goes down. The best way to get out, break line of sight.
You see, especially you find there's a couple on the ground floor that, or kind of ground level that you think that you could get out, but a lot of the higher windows aren't barred or fortified, but it's up.
Yeah.
And this probably stretches up well over 100 feet on the full keep.
I'm fine with that. I can halo jump.
You, the walls in here are high. They're about 30 feet high. As you're going through, you also see there looks like there are a lot of knights in here. They're training, clearly young, young warriors of all sorts, and you do notice that, I mean, there's a lot of humans, but it's certainly not limited to humans. You see dwarves, you see what seem like to be a couple elves, you see a half-orc or two, even a tiefling, so it doesn't look homogenous necessarily,
Right.
though it is mostly human.
Right.
He leads you to the stable first, speaks to the stable master. The stable master starts calling through. He's like, "My lord will be well cared for."
Thank you.
And also, he's wearing his finery, obviously, before we got here.
They all seem to recognize it, for sure.
I will purposely be several steps behind either one of them or both of them.
Your presence definitely doesn't go unnoticed, but nobody really cast a second judgmental look by any means either. You definitely already don't get the same pomp and circumstance as the Featherdale Knights. And their armor, I think you would especially notice, especially some of the knights who are training and even the guards who are coming through, their armor is certainly nice, but it's functional. It has some shine to it, but
They're legit.
there's also bits that, I mean, there are some who are wearing armor like the kind of shoulder guards that, I mean, look like they're still rent.
I think Henrik would feel comfortable. No, I don't know. I guess it's soon to say, but it's nice to see that they're not.
I mean, from your last,
Right.
from your last run in,
Right.
they were,
Orson
yeah,
And the
Assets.
greeting mentioning Tempest and him
yep.
appreciating it. He's feeling better.
And I mean, you know, Tyr, it's not your god, but you're like, I mean, that's a god of justice.
Mhm.
So
That's
It's
the god
awful
you
good.
picked.
He's a better god than
Excuse me?
nothing.
Excuse me?
So they kind of lead you back through, and you know, some people nod. They seem to be giving a warmish welcome. I mean, nobody's coming up and shaking your hand. They lead you inside of like a front, like foyer kind of reception room. You see there are busts of clearly other knights. There are kind of portrait banners that are hanging oil paintings of different knights. And you can kind of tell by the age of the painting and, I don't know, somewhat of the armor styles and even the haircuts. You're like, oh man, these are starting to stretch back, and they're going back. The further you go back, the older they look. The sentry leads you past other guards, and it opens up into a great hall. And there's a large table. And at the end, you see a woman, looks like she's in about her 60s, kind of sitting down. One, a fist to her head, and there's a dozen other knights kind of around her, and they're all speaking to each other, sitting at the end of this large table. And the guard comes up, you see him whisper. She almost seems to come out of what looked like a stupor of what she was doing. She's like, "Hail, strangers. Please, take a seat at the table."
Thank you.
Roderick would.
She's like, "I have not had visitors in a while." She's like, "I'm Ushian Stormbanner. I'm the head knight and lord commander of the Knights of Samalot."
Pleasure to meet you, my lady. Broderick Reinwald.
Henrik Roughsworn.
Stalwart,
Tempest, yes.
welcome.
This is Nas.
Nas, welcome.
My lady, no doubt you've heard of the unrest in the Desserin Valley.
I have. My knights have been telling me about it. They're expecting a delegation from Mirabar that went missing.
The delegation will not show. The Stalwart and Nas and I, we've firmly inserted ourselves in the goings-on of the valley, and we have discovered some of their dark plans. We
She leans
know
in.
the fate of the Mirabar delegation, and it is not good.
She looks genuinely concerned at you.
My lady, before I continue, let me assure you of our authenticity.
I assume the stalwart would be carrying this set of armor.
Yeah, I guess so. Not roughly, but
I mean, as you carefully and somewhat ceremonially, like, kind of pull the cloth that's been wrapped around it, and she sees the two crossed swords of Tyr across the armor that matches so many knights in here. She raises from her seat, and a lot of the other knights lean back. She's like,
Fallen at the Sacred Stone Monastery, my lady, along with 2 others.
they would have told you that they were escorting it back, so he died. He died earlier.
Got it.
Like, this is Tannerzon. Delegation was bringing him back.
We found that armor at the Sacred Stone Monastery, my lady, and forgive me, though
She
I am...
leans back knowingly and puts a hand up. And she's like, will you leave. They get up to leave. There's clearly a lieutenant sitting next to her who leans in as soon as you say Sacred Stone Monastery.
I would respectfully wait for them to leave.
Continue.
You will forgive me, though I am long in the tooth. I'm not terribly familiar with your order, but I choose to believe that you are as trustworthy as I have heard. Can I trust you, my lady?
I should hope so. Long have we been the defenders of the North. Long have we defended the entire Sword Coast from what we could do to bring justice to the unruly chaos. Like, even now, we struggle to maintain order and train. We lost 3/4 at the Battle of the Well.
So many did. And I'm afraid your oaths may be yet tested.
And I think at that, he would pull out the Nithbis scroll, but he wouldn't yet unroll it and give it to her. He would just sort of make a little bit of a show of it, hold on to it for a second.
I mean, she eyes it, and her lieutenant eyes it even more. He doesn't necessarily look unfriendly towards you, but he's definitely eyeing each one of you appraisingly.
There's no easy way to put it. There are 4 cults in the valley, vying for power. Each of them aligned to one of the elements, my lady, of the material plane.
The elements.
There's a fire cult, a water cult, an earth cult, and an air cult. Each of them, well, they want what all cults want, I suppose, these days. The complete destruction of the plane as we know it. Yet they are not aligned. And they are not as well organized as the Cult of the Dragon, or so it would seem. At least not yet. Now my friends and I have cleared out 3 or 4 keeps that we know each one of them possess, and each of those keeps represents but a guardhouse to something more ancient, buried beneath the earth. An old dwarven city.
Tar Bessen.
That's right. But dwarves do not live there now.
Long they have not.
Something much worse, I'm afraid. We have yet to venture into those dark caverns, but we have, well, perhaps lopped the head off of the snake, although the body yet lives. Anyway, my lady, we come seeking your assistance, and we come as an official delegation on behalf of Goldenleaf.
And at that, he would hand the scroll.
This was specifically asking for the prisoner release, right?
That's right. He's
And
getting
that's
there.
all.
He's getting there.
Okay.
Well,
I'm just
yeah.
making sure we agreed
Yep,
that
yep,
this
yep.
was specifically
Yep.
and only limited
I
to
know.
the prisoner
He
release.
was making a show of it.
Oh yeah, I got you.
So before she can even unravel it, he'd be like,
Now you may be wondering if I'm asking for military aid, and well, I am not yet. That may be necessary. We have something much more specific that we may need from you.
Even with our dwindling numbers, if it was military aid you asked for, we would give what we could. She's like,
I don't doubt it.
we don't find ourselves untrusting of strangers, especially not those of Tempest.
You have a prisoner right now. A magic user. We believe he or she is responsible for the destruction of an entire town, or at the very least, possesses knowledge around it.
She looks at the lieutenant, and the lieutenant looks back at her. Which magic user? We've had a number here for a long time. Some a little over a year. We haven't had any new prisoners lately.
This would not be a new prisoner.
They would be in your dungeons for at least a year. I didn't get a name then.
Didn't get a name.
The description?
Yeah, you know what? You would have at this point. You would have heard that it was human.
Okay.
It was a human spellcaster of some sort. A human.
He was human.
They seemed partly relieved.
An entire town was wiped out. One fell stroke. The town of Amptail.
Amtail's been wiped off the map.
Completely. Retaliation of the cultists. It was in direct response to our actions, my lady. It weighs heavy on my heart when I think about it. But
I know that burden, and I know that pain. I wish there were easier words, so that maybe we could sleep at night. But I hope you know that justice comes from the hands of the righteous. That's what Tyr would tell us. And so, even without meaning to, you have brought justice to where it had to be.
thank you, my lady. That was helpful to hear. I don't have many more nights left. I prefer them not to be sleepless.
She smiled. I understand. I mean, she's close to your age,
Yeah.
and she is far more scarred than you are.
Yeah.
But she also looks like she could throw down if need be.
So, any assistance there would mean the world to us.
She looks at her lieutenant. He looks at her a bit more like... She undoes the scroll and reads it. She's like, I've never met the Lady Nithmis, but frankly, we are all in her debt, in the debt of all those who fought at the well. To all the fallen.
Yes.
She takes a long sip of ale. She looks in regard to the armor for a moment. I will release this prisoner to you if you like, or you can question him here.
I think questioning would be fine.
That's all we need.
I warn you, he's completely mad. Cell would be a difficult term to even put there. He's rather comfortable. We found him with some of the dragon captives that we took. They said he was both with them and not with them. But we haven't been able to get much out of him. It's rather pitiable.
Interesting.
But you can have him. Or you can question him.
Just need to question him.
Very well.
My lady, after that, I might ask you that you establish a correspondence with the Lady Nithmis. We may need all the allies we can find. I believe these cults represent a very real danger to the Desserin Valley. Indeed, perhaps all of life as we know it.
I couldn't agree more. Gareth, send ravens. Tell Lady Nithmis that I request an audience. He's like, yes, Lord Commander. And he stands up. Do you need to eat first? If you've been traveling.
That would be lovely.
Perhaps some wine.
Yes.
Nosh just rolls his eyes.
She's like, please, excuse me. She goes away for a few minutes. She herself brings out some ale and some bread, but you can hear that. You can see that there's clearly kitchens over there, and it's happening. But she herself hands out.
Well, she goes out. I'll lean over to Broderick. Do you have that spell that compels truth? Good. I think we'll need it.
I'm right with you, my friend.
Man, I think as he says, my friend, he'd do the old man, like put a hand on his shoulder and maybe squeeze a little too awkwardly.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you're kind of like, okay.
It's really paternal, but it's also like,
yeah, you're kind of like, all right, yep.
Yeah.
He doesn't shrug it off.
Yeah.
He just kind of takes it and kind of looks at you and
Crosses his legs.
smiles. Glad to be among friends again.
As you are. Ah!
yes. She comes
Immediately distracted.
out. She comes out and puts the cast down and pours for each of you. And she takes her seat again. You can see that there's clearly parts of her muscles that are old wounds that one arm doesn't quite go down as easy. And when she sits, and her armor has been repaired and repaired, it looks like a Frankenstein piece of armor. But it's still like got the symbol of Tyr has clearly been the piece that has been remade and rehammered over and over again. And she sits back down. She's like, Tyr would say we always must look for allies in times of chaos. She's like, elemental cults. This harkens back to the primordial war, Stalwart.
It does.
She continues. I mean, she's like,
Would Henry even know anything about that?
you would. I mean, and you especially from Imdrol. I mean, you'd kind of read some of his book. You know that when the world was young and the elements were raging in camp, Tempest was essentially one that helped tame it. Also, in that time, he also gained supremacy by destroying and absorbing all of his enemies. Like, they were part allies, part enemies, but he both gained supremacy and helped push back the chaos of the elements. She's like, couldn't have another bit of primordial wars. We're not gods. We're just the hands of gods.
Would it be a normal thing to ask how's your god doing? Or like in different words.
I'm sure you could ask
I
if
think
she feels a connection.
however
Yeah, that'd be
you
good.
feel like you want to cleverly
like
ask it.
cleverly, not in an outright.
I'm gonna let you ask how you want to ask, and
Oh.
we'll
How goes your communication with Tyr? You feel his presence daily?
I don't know that I've noticed change. I felt his presence in every sword swing, but he's never. None of us are. We have one priest here. We're not even paladins, just knights. So it does not appear to me or speak to me. But I see him in the deeds we do, in the deeds that are done. I don't believe without Tyr that we could have faced down such a threat as Tiamat.
Of course.
Pushed her back to the hells.
How is your priest of late?
It seems most people have found the faith again within a threat such as Tiamat. I suppose now she kind of puts her head back. With cults of the elements, people look to faith. And Tyr is a strong ally. For justice is always a strong ally to the righteous, and a bloodhound against its enemies.
Well said.
She drinks.
What's your priest's name?
When's the last time you went?
Right. You mentioned Sacred Stone Monastery.
We did.
You said you cleared it out.
Mostly.
She looks at each one of you. Sacred Stone Monastery we only recently heard. I assumed if a monastery could start up there that perhaps an ancient enemy of ours was gone.
Why does the enemy have a name?
She looks at each one of you.
Renwick. He's still there.
She closes her eyes.
Although I don't think he sees you as an enemy. He just wants to be left alone to do his studies. At least that's what he told us.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
And who were we to disagree with him if you get to my meeting?
I don't blame you.
But
Broderick would be like clenching his teeth. You know, just like focusing on drinking the wine. My man's lawful good. He has a hard time being deceptive.
I'm not being deceptive.
No, I know.
In fact, I'm saying this to try to help you.
I think he has a hard time even not bringing it up, but
About what? About the body?
yeah.
No, I'm about to.
Yeah, I think Broderick's there too.
Yeah.
She's like,
He requested strongly that we come here and get his brother's body and bring it back.
she slams her ale.
Obviously, we are not going to do that.
You're like, of course he did. This isn't his first attempt. This is not his first attempt.
Well, it may be still on his mind, but it is, I wouldn't say it's an afterthought, but he didn't seem too pressed about it. So,
His will was bent elsewhere.
well, I will be honest with you. The dealings with some other knights we've had in the region have not gone well. The Feathergale Knights
She.
were in league with the Air Cults.
Oh man, I think Broderick would be like,
She's like,
We were unsure of what you were,
She's
to be
like-
frank.
the Feathergale Knights were in league with this air cult.
Yes.
They were.
They are no more.
I thought they were pompous. They had no honor. Some of them.
All of
fought
that's
well.
true.
They struck their battles at the well, but most of that was bought. Though I will not disregard any of the sacrifices of their knights, but they're a new order. They're not an order anymore. If they allied themselves with the forces of chaos and evil, then it's only right that justice was done to them, and that they were wiped out.
As it was done, my lady.
Either way, Renwick is not going anywhere. The only good thing about leaving him there and leaving him alone is the entrance to one of the temples we suspect of. We're guessing maybe the Earth Cult, we're not really sure, lies within the Sacred Stone Monastery. And they would have to get through him to go out. I'm fine with that. Who, no matter what happens, he would lay waste to many of them, and if he doesn't die, he acts almost as a buffer against them to the outside world. At least I hope so.
Using evil to fight evil.
It's not, in this case, not using evil. I don't think we did not have a choice.
I don't disagree. You would have lost your lives.
And you would not have this information.
We have a stalemate. We've sworn an oath not to go after him from
He seems to be honoring that himself. He tried to convince us to do it. And once we got here, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, I hope.
No.
We've seen you are true knights.
I appreciate your honesty, young man. I really do. He's had other attempts. He would like nothing more than to abscond with Samalar's body.
To what end? To raise him?
To raise him or who knows what else. Trust me, he's responsible for his share of atrocities after his lichdom. But he seemed to strike some final agreement with his brother Samalar. He cannot come after us directly, nor can we go after him. But my lord, the Lord of Arda was specific that his resting place is not to be disturbed, that he is not to be raised, to be pulled away from Tyr, to be pulled away from his legacy for whatever purposes his brother has.
He is a threat for another time. Agreed?
I don't disagree. He's been there for hundreds of years now. He doesn't seem to have left.
As we said, his will seemed bent elsewhere.
He has his own codes, but trust me, he's a beguiler and a manipulator all the same. I wouldn't trust him.
Oh. I don't think it was a question of trust.
No, it was a matter of saving our skins, if I may be so blunt.
A difficult choice. A difficult choice. But I suppose we're all faced with difficult choices these days. She kind of looks out of the great hall windows and sees the young training. She's like, I often wonder what to tell them. What to teach them. It doesn't feel like the same world that I fought for most of my life. All the more precious, though.
Never is.
No. I suppose it's the musings of an old warrior. She looks like she almost uncomfortably adjusts herself.
Don't worry, we're used to musings of old warriors.
Exactly. I hope you two listen.
Sometimes.
When we have no other choice.
Food
Which
comes
not the case with you, of course.
She laughs. She genuinely seems to enjoy your company as you guys eat. You guys can regale her with any bits you wish to share of what
I think
you've
we
done.
would. I'm sure she loves a good war story. Broderick would do his best to amp it up.
She does. She tells you guys more about the Troll Wars, and frankly, Samalar and Renwick, even in his prime when he was good. I mean, you don't know how much are apocryphal or not, but I mean, the stories are, for two humans, I mean, are just incredible. And
Cool.
And, you know, talk about where they were at the well. You guys share that. I mean, they brought down a dragon themselves that crashed in. Like, the combined strength of the knights brought down a black dragon.
Cool.
So, and they don't have any trophies of it or anything. Like,
True knight.
they have nothing of that. After that, she's like, well, I'll have Gareth lead you down. Be mindful. There are many prisoners down there. There's a painted line on the floor. Stay behind that line. You'll know why.
I understand.
Gareth, the lieutenant, comes back in. You're like, my lords, you'll come with me. You guys go kind of east.
Broderick's gonna grab a glass of wine on the way down.
Okay. As you guys kind of descend and enter, you guys come through. You start to head downstairs. It's almost like they're half circular, and then kind of will come to a landing, and then head down more. And you get to the bottom, and there's a large, looks like iron gate, but there's runes carved over it. You see gems put into place. There looks like there was ritual in constructing some of this. It does not look like an average dungeon. And in fact, even as you get there, it doesn't look like it's not.
Are we being escorted down?
You are by Gareth.
I'll look to Gareth and I'll say, will we be able to use magic in there?
You can. As long as you're outside of the cells and not inside of them, you should be able to
Good,
use magic.
good. But so magic will not permeate into the cell then?
No, it won't.
I just look to you. I'm going to hold back a little bit. Oh, you two do the talking. I have an idea.
All right, then.
If you need to, we can take one out of their cell. under guard. I will need you to surrender your weapons before we go in
The
there.
wizard? You think that's a good idea? I don't think that's a good idea.
He's... My lady said to do, even to remit him to your custody should you choose.
We'll
It's
leave
up
him
to
in
you.
the cell.
Leave him in for now.
Best not to give him the opportunity.
See what we can do through the bars
Although,
and take a
most
few-
wizards' hands being bound will restrict most of their abilities, but not all.
Yes.
Let us start through the bars and see how it goes.
I will have to ask you to surrender your weapons down here, gentlemen. It is protocol.
I understand.
There's multiple guards. You've entered a small guard room, and they are alert. And they're like, my Lord Gareth, my Lord Gareth. He's like, at ease. He's like, they'll be leaving these weapons. They'll be well careful. Like, of course, my lord. I mean, it is.
Broderick would undo his belt, pull the dagger out of his boot.
They take your weapons with care. They don't toss them on a table. Each one is set on your things, like they're handling each.
I'm looking at
Gareth?
Gareth, thank you, and just like memorizing the features of his face and his armor and his way he walks.
You do all of that.
Should be good.
After you surrender your weapons, another set of gates go, and then another set of gates. They look
Do they
secure.
search us?
No,
Okay.
they don't.
Unfortunately, Rezier is not one of the weapons I hold out, but I still have my 2 daggers I have held out.
Yeah. You got it. I mean, they trust that you've given them all the weapons.
Shouldn't.
Trust is hard to earn and easy to lose.
Gareth leads you through.
I'll stop before we go through,
Mhm.
and I'll reach in and take the 2 daggers I had hidden. And hand them to him.
Hand them to the guards or to
The guards.
They look at each other. They look a little less enthused and take them and set them down. But
Broderick would nod.
and then they're back to attention. One watches the front door. One watches exactly where you're going. 2 are also in there. One looks like he's resting. The other, but I mean, they're every direction. As you guys turn a corner, you see that there's multiple cells, and they have typically banded iron doors, and again, there's runes all over them. Strange gems. You go by a couple different, you see a tiefling in one, you see a different human in another. Then you start to kind of round a corner, and you see a large painted line. This like kind of opens up into a large cell area. So there's cells that kind of line each side of a large room. And you see a painted line out from a series of cells. Gareth turns. I would not cross that line. You're like, I think you'll see why. As you guys go through, you see that within this side of the prison, it is all dragonborns, half dragons of all sorts. And they're all...
Any red dragonborns I can spit on?
Yeah. There's one, but I mean, there's about a dozen of them. Many of them look not recently wounded, but wounded. Like they've got scars. They're sitting kind of defeated. As you come in, a lot of them do perk up and stand up and come up to the bars.
Their snout sticking through.
Yeah.
So we're outside of the radius of their breath weapons?
It's clearly like those aren't magic, so they clearly have a painted line of the bit. You do see that there is one other guard in here, though, who's standing against a door on the far side. That's interesting, and you can kind of see into that room. It looks oddly well appointed. Like,
Is this the one we're going to?
no. But it's a bit strange. Like, you were like, is that velvet? Like, within the inside, it looks like a nice...
Can we see who it is?
Not from where you are right at the moment.
Okay.
But then you come up to the cells across from the Dragonborn. And inside, you see a huddled figure who's just on his cot. And again, it looks like a comfortable room. It's Spartan. There's not anything in it, but
Right.
there's no chains on the wall.
Dank.
And he's just on his bed, and he's pulling up pieces of the sheets, and he's making like different designs, and he's looking at him, and he's like laughing. He's like, ah.
Again, I'm going to be holding back. In fact, I'll leave it stealth to keep out of line of sight. But I do want to get a look at him, see if he has like any tattoos or anything like that.
So stay out of sight, but see who's within the cell that you guys are going to.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll stealth.
20.
Okay. Yep. I mean, it's not paying attention to you anyway. And as you look in, I mean, you see a human, and he looks up. He's like already holding his face. He's like
Another screenshot.
He's like, yes. He's like, one of three, all of three, come to me. That's right. And he comes up to the bars and he sticks his head through, like right there. And Gareth is unmoving. I mean, he doesn't seem alarmed that this is happening. And he's like, I knew you'd come.
There's a painted line here as well.
No.
Nothing.
No, he's human. I mean, and he looks like he's about in his 40s. He looks a little gaunt. He's got like gray hair up to the temples, but the hair is kind of longer on top, like black hair.
Tattoos?
No
Everything?
tattoos.
Nothing, just... okay.
But he's like, mm-hmm. Can I measure your head?
Not right now.
Pretty much me. You know?
What's your name?
It's like, my name. He looks like he's about to start, like, crying. I don't remember. Like, his name is Cassander. It's like, yeah, that's right, my name's Cassander.
Well, Cassander, what do you know? Let me take a step back. My name's Broderick.
Broderick.
And this...
I'm Henrik.
Henrik, the man who I can't measure his head.
Afraid not.
Are you out of sight? I'll be like, yeah, but there were supposed to be 3 with you.
There are 3. Gareth here is the 3rd.
Not Gareth.
It's all pouting.
He looks at Gareth.
What do you mean?
He's like, I don't know. I just know that there were supposed to be 3 of you that were going to get me out. And he goes back to his bed and he starts pulling stuff up again.
Where did you get this information?
And I'm like, I don't know. Do you know where I got it?
I did not.
He's like, you need something from here.
You're right.
That's my mind.
So it is. And we do.
Too late. He does move into tears though. He's like, can't remember.
Broderick would look at Gareth. It's kind of like cock an eyebrow.
What do you know about an orb of destruction?
He's like, an orb?
Yes.
I don't know, is it very big?
It's about the size of my stalwart friend's head.
I knew I should have measured your head. God, he comes up again.
Not right now.
I don't know anything anymore. He looks like the lip is quivering.
I'll step into view.
He's like,
I'm the 3rd.
3! 3 and not Gareth. Gareth is, I mean,
Just-
unwavering.
Gareth, can you give us a minute?
I can. He goes out the entire way. Actually, you hear both gates close.
Great. Did you say he was reading something when we came in?
No, he was pulling on his bed sheets and making designs
Okay.
and laughing at me.
Well, never mind. I won't ask him about that.
Your
bed sheets, He's like, you need something from me, and I can give it to you, but I can't give it to you now. That's what I know.
Why can't you give it to me now?
Because I don't have my mind.
That makes sense, I suppose.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Can we get it for you?
I think we'd all have to go. He's kind of like, he's just sitting, spinning around, like, pretty sure we all have to go.
Where would we be going?
I don't know.
And what good would you be?
Well, if I had my mind.
We can't find your mind without your mind.
I can't find my mind, but I know that we're going to find my mind.
I think Broderick would just kind of close
As
his
you
eyes.
guys are sitting there, you hear a voice from behind you. I wouldn't bother. He's completely mad. If you turn around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's a black half dragon sitting there. He can't tell you secrets anymore, though we might have a few.
We're to trust you.
Come a little closer, let me whisper in your ear.
I won't be doing that. Tell me your secrets from where you are.
I'm sure we could find some hordes of forgotten dragons. We're defeated. We could kill him if you wanted. He probably can tell you. If you're looking for warriors, you found them.
Not very good warriors if you're behind cages.
We were beaten.
Exactly. Who wants a beaten warrior?
Well, we still have our usefulness.
All right, that's enough. We're supposed to take you out of here then.
He turns. Oh, he's been looking at the wall.
Lost interest in
He's
us.
like, yes, yes.
Visions you've had, are they? Someone told you.
I just know. I can't tell us where to go, but I know who can tell us where to go.
Who?
The Giant Slayer.
The Giant Slayer.
She's at Rorik's house.
I mean, I do think at that he would turn to them.
How do you know that name?
Rorik? We're friends. I have to go to Rorik's house. We get the Giant Slayer. She gets my mind. You get... I don't know. What are you looking for?
Information.
About what?
Destructive magics.
Like the kind in orbs?
Yes.
Yes.
That sounds serious. I legitimately see him just regard it.
I'm trying not to laugh. He's making me laugh so much.
He's great. He's great.
Well, we'll have to discuss that with others if we can take you out.
That's okay. They'll say yes.
I believe they will.
I know they will. He's like, Gareth won't like it though.
Back to Golden Leaf.
Don't go anywhere. Do you want to measure my head?
Can I?
Of course. I push my face up to the bars.
Oh, he does. He's like, I mean, with a almost singular focus. He's like, you have 2 heads.
One head here, one head somewhere else. Some people have two heads.
If you say so.
You've learned something today.
I'm going to fetch Gareth.
Yeah,
We'll leave.
Broderick will turn and leave.
You see him
And
collapse on his bed.
And as we're going by the black dragon, I go. And I don't say anything. I just give him a wink and a smile.
He legitimately smiles back, and you can see a couple of them shifting. Some look legitimately defeated.
Mm-hmm.
Others,
Man, I think Broderick would feel a twinge of sadness for him. They were fighting on the wrong side. That's all it is.
I don't think Nos feels any sadness for him. He sees a killer. He knows a killer when he sees one.
Dad in the wool killer.
Died in the wool killer.
you
know what I like?
I wish one of you had gone up. I'd be ashamed who you are.
Never shame
Warriors.
Warriors.
Alright, you guys get Gareth?
Yep.
Alright. He's like, oh, it's...
I think we do require taking him out.
It'll be our responsibility.
The Lord Commander's already issued her orders. She trusts you. We trust you.
What can we expect from him? You're familiar.
We found him with those Dragonborn. They say he was, from what we can tell, involved in some form of research or study, but they say he went mad before the end of the war.
Well, we'll keep our wits about us.
I wish you luck, warriors.
Thank you.
He grabs two guards and he's like, we'll be releasing Cassandra. And they start to go. As Cassandra's coming out, he's like, have we been Tiamat yet?
We have.
Which time?
The second.
He looks at that, and then you hear a bit of a laugh. Not from the Dragonborn.
And not from the velvet.
Yeah. And you hear. And you can't quite see the face yet, but it's like, beaten Tiamat. I doubt it. And then you see the face of an elf come up against the bars. Beautiful young elf. He's like, your heroes closed a door, and that's it. Like, a new group of heroes trying to stop a threat. Will you close a door and say that you beat it?
Probably.
Like, pathetic.
Well,
A lot of you. Pathetic.
enjoy your stay.
I will. I'll be getting out soon, too. When my mistress comes back for me.
Who is your mistress?
Tiamat is my mistress.
Well, when we hear about that door opening, I suppose we'll close it again, too.
Doubtful. If you make it into the High Forest, say hello to my father for me.
I know who you are. Naron Vane.
That's right.
Traitor to your people.
Traitor to my people. I was in service of my god. Would you do any different with your god? Tempest.
Your god doesn't care about you. What do you think would happen when she arrived?
I would be devoured, along with everyone else.
I guess you do know what would happen.
I hope you don't think her devouring days are over, because you have a golden leaf now. You have heroes. Foolish.
And yet here we are.
For now. Does turn back to you then. Tempest's history is hardly stain-free, Stalwart. If Tempest came down today and told you to vanquish his enemies, would you do it?
Suppose suppose it would depend on the enemies. But it's likely. Surely I would weigh every decision, not blindly follow like some sheep.
That sounds like you're a weak vessel of your god. I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't heard from him in a while.
And he slithers down.
I think Henrik would just turn around and start walking probably.
I just look at the two of them. I go, enough?
That was elven royalty at one time. King Melandrak's own son right there.
Well, he's here for a reason, right?
To think that one so high in status would be actively working on Tiamat's return. Who then could be supporting these cultists? It's easy to dismiss them as mad or stupid.
No, I don't dismiss them as mad or stupid.
Pricks.
They are driven. And they're driven by something. And probably someone.
They're driven and perhaps connected.
Well, Featherground Lights were from Waterdeep. There could be cells there.
Likely everywhere.
No.
The cult of the dragon was everywhere. Well, one task at a time.
Exactly.
Let's take our new friend.
Yeah.
His hands are bound. He's like, goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. He's like, don't worry, dragons. Help may come. Maybe not. Did you know they fought for Tiamat? Like talking to the guards. Yes, we knew. And he's like, you look like you have a big head. The guard in front of him. They take him out. They give him back what few belongings he had. No weapons. Absolutely. He has like a kind of...
I make sure it's no spell focus.
Anything that you think could be, you're like, nope. You're like, you're like, what is that, a pouch? No.
Nope.
This is a bundle of sticks? No,
Nope.
sir.
Nope. You take, I mean, he essentially has clothes and a cloak.
Okay.
And that's it. And you start heading off.
They give us our weapons back.
Oh yeah, they definitely give you the weapons back.
Yeah, we would give our regards to the Lord Commander again.
Ushi and Stormbanner, son. Wish you luck in the search of justice. We
Thank
will
you.
be crossing paths again.
Oh,
I
no
look
doubt.
forward to it.
As do I. May Tia bless your path.
Gather as many men under your banner and women as you can. There is a war coming. Another war.
We already are. Thank you. As you leave, they sound the horns. She seemed to add what little ceremony that they had, where
Just a little flourish.
just a little bit.
I think Broderick would feel pretty good about that. I think he would cut Cassandra's hands bindings once we get out of the...
He's like,
It wouldn't do much against magic anyways, and he's not going to wield a weapon against us.
he starts doing this. He's like, don't worry. He's like,
You'd be wise not to play with us like that.
Where are we going?
I don't know. To Golden Leaf.
We have
To
to go to...
Rorik's house.
oh, we're going to Rorik's house.
Maybe we can requisition some horses.
Yeah, we probably would have requisitioned horses before the horns blew, if we could.
Yes.
We would have even paid for them if they needed
Yeah,
it.
I'll absolutely give them money for it.
Cool.
They
Just take them.
They do take payment. They don't have many horses, but they will buy. It's not much,
Yeah.
but whatever the cost of a horse is, you can have it.
50 gold pieces normally or something?
Something like that.
I'm not buying a horse, but
And
you guys go ahead.
As you guys ride off, he's like, all we need is the giant slayer at Rorik's house.
I don't know, I'm looking at here for gold values. It doesn't have it for Featherground. That's stupid.
It's one problem with D&D Beyond. You
I have to actually go into the
You
equipment
gotta go to
list.
the compendium
Yeah.
and look at it there.
He's like, "Are you a stalwart?
I am.
Can I measure your head?"
You can't. Not right now.
Now, where's Jaya?
Who's that?
The Giant Slayer.
Ah, I don't know.
Can I have something to eat?
Well, Broderick hates him.
Nos kind of likes him.
Yeah.
He's like amused by him.
Steven loves him.
Is there a reason you want to measure our heads?
I don't know. Just like heads.
They're useful.
Just call it 40 gold. That'll be like tack and harness and stuff. That's halved.
You guys are fighting
I'll have to kind of.
something somewhere, and you need the rest of my mind.
We do.
It would be a whole lot easier if you could just get in there now.
It would.
I guess the Zone of Truth doesn't unlock the
Probably not.
broken parts.
Greater
of your brain.
restoration might, but not no less than restoration. I think we would ride at max speed.
You guys go a couple times. Does he have his own horse, or he rides with one of you?
Rides with one of us.
I'll ride with him.
Yeah.
A couple times, you're not sure if he's trying to escape. He straight jumps off the horse, and I mean,
Just
goes.
bolts.
And I mean, you're starting to, like, you've been ready, so you're ready. But he just like is going to a stream, and he's looking at himself. Occasionally, he just breaks out crying. I mean, legitimately.
So after the first time, I tie a rope to his leg and to the horn of the horse and give him about 10, 15 feet before he just jerks him off of his feet.
He'll completely forget about it, and
Yeah.
he will get jerked. And other times, I mean, he's legitimately like crying on your shoulder and like almost pulling on you. I can't remember.
It's okay.
So comforting.
Yeah, that's all I got.
It's fine.
It's fine. You're a great dude.
Put the water back in your eyes.
And sometimes he looks at you and he remembers. He's like, oh, 2 heads.
2 faces.
You guys make it to Golden
Face.
Leaf. And you've got... That's all you know. And he's like, no, I said Rorik's house. This is a whole town.
This is where his house used to be. If I remember correctly.
I mean, there's a statue of Rorik there. I think he would
Yeah.
point that out.
Like, it's a statue of Rorik. He's so old, though. He's always been old. He's that old, I think. I don't remember. Was he that old?
I couldn't say. Let's find your giant slayer if she's here. Jaya, you said it was.
Jaya.
Go right to Baishar.
You guys get right in. Baishar, you bring him in too.
Yeah. No.
I'll wait outside with
Yeah.
him.
I think he'd be like,
Baishar
Baishar.
doesn't like me that much anyway.
I think he would go buy a bottle of wine for Baishar beforehand.
Okay.
A nice bottle.
As you go in, he continually, you're like, it's like you gotta put the kid backpack on him. Like he's endlessly trying to like go someplace. Not hard or evasively, just like. And again, he'll see somebody. And sometimes you'll see him while he's out there. Like he stops a couple people. And he looks at them almost gravely. I mean, he doesn't say anything.
Right. Like maybe he's seen something.
You don't. Most of them are like. Some though seem to meet his eye with some sort of understanding and leave. You come into Baishar. Back to so soon.
Didn't expect to be. Bought you something. A bit of a thank you gift.
I spent 10 gold on this,
Oh shit! Yeah.
so I'm expecting it to be
Fuck yeah.
about the best.
He's like, this was unnecessary. It's a fortune.
You deserve it. And I'm afraid the gift doesn't come without a small string attached.
I think he'd smile and even like clasp him a little bit.
Bashar meets
Yeah.
it. He's like, then I don't feel so bad taking it.
We're looking for someone named Jaya. Or perhaps Giant Slayer.
He shakes his head.
I mean, as soon as he looks like there's recognition, I would look at Henrik like,
Jaya's here currently.
How fortunate.
he would say while looking at Henrik, like, a little like, everything this dude has said is true. Every single thing.
She is capable warrior. One of the best.
Where can we find her?
Probably at the tavern. I warn you. She's a bit rough around the edges. Not the most patient.
I'm sure we can manage. Thank you, Bashar. It's good to see you. Hopefully it will be a while before the next time.
I will toast to you from the leisure of my room. I kind of wryly smiles.
And I think he would think about that for a second. He'd be like,
Do you have family here?
No.
What are the names?
No family. Lifelong soldier.
If you seek company, find me at the tavern. I'll share a drink with you.
Perhaps I will when my duties are done.
Broderick would nod at him. Bounce.
Okay. You guys.
Tell Nas.
Apparently this giant slayer is in the tavern.
How can he know that?
Everything he said would come to pass has.
You knew there were three of us.
And I think that means you probably do have a second head growing
I
somewhere.
don't have a second head.
One is bad enough.
He's like, not growing, but also growing.
Well, that clarifies things nicely.
Let's get this done.
Alright.
I've been riding with him for a week.
Would you do me the service of keeping him outside of the tavern
Of
for
course,
just a
of
minute
course.
more?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, me and Stalwart would come in the tavern.
Okay. You guys don't. It's pretty packed in here.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard that it's a woman, but
He'd start looking around for a capable warrior woman, which I'm sure they're in no short supply.
No.
And not in Golden Leaf.
you add it up though because most of the warriors, frankly, seem like they're with others, and there's one who you recognize. You guys bumped into her the first time you were in Golden Leaf. She was with a redheaded ranger who doesn't seem to be present now. You remember her being rather short, and she's sitting by herself. She doesn't necessarily look like she's in a bad mood, but she's definitely like drinking on her own. Lost in thought.
I think Broderick would come over and put on his best charm and be like,
Can I buy you a drink?
She's like, afraid you're a bit old for me.
Just conversation, dude.
It hasn't worked in years.
He's like, well, if you're buying,
What are you drinking?
just ale.
That, is it? 3?
Of course, Uncle. He's like, I've seen you two before.
I believe so, yes. As chance might have it. I think we bumped into each other some weeks ago. You were with a young woman then, red hair.
Testra. She's gone her own way.
I've a strange situation. There is a There's something foul going on in the Deseret Valley. Cultists again. I would say it's their usual, but this one could be just as bad.
I've heard the same rumors. I've been up through there. Killed a few things. Strange things for the Deseret Valley right now.
Very strange. And, well, my friends and I have been doing something about it.
Good for you.
We were recently at the Knights of Samalor, the Order of Samalor. Are you familiar?
I'm familiar. Lucian Stormbanner.
Yes.
I've met her.
We met her. Lovely. They have an extensive prison beneath their keep, filled with Dragonborn.
Did you say Dragonborn?
Yes, I did.
Is there a red one?
Likely several. Didn't pay close attention.
Okay, go on.
We were there following up a lead, looking for information from a spellcaster, a wizard. His name is... What's his name again?
Cassander?
Cassander. Cassander, does that ring a bell?
She stands up. Is he there now?
No,
Where is he?
he's here.
She turns.
Oh shit! Wait! She kicks open the door. You see a woman in plate mail come out bearing a sword and look at Cassander, and he's like, Jaya!
I just step in between them.
She starts fucking storming through. She's like, get out of my way, boy.
Like, Jaya, please don't! Please don't! Please!
She holds for a second, not necessarily looking like she's listening, but half sizing you three up, and starts almost bouncing. She's like, I thought you were dead, Cassander. And he's like, no. She's like, what are you doing here? He's like, well, I came to...
Find your mind.
Oh yeah, came to find my mind. Where's Rorik? She's like, Rorik's dead. Like, when did he die? She's like, during this war with the dragon.
I just like, oh my god.
She's like, what did you three do to him? Why is he like this?
This wasn't our doing.
Where is that we found him?
He's lost his mind, so it seems.
Lost his mind.
And we need it.
She's like, Cassandra, what are you playing at? What's the end game here? He's like, Rorik died. She's like, Cassandra, look at me. And he does. And she eyes him up for a minute. And she is their sword.
Brother with Messiah. Relief.
As you added it up, y'all all got the feeling that one of you was gonna die.
Yeah, her.
She's like, why bring him to me?
He requested it. We need him. We need some information he has. Jaya, there's magic. Destroyed an entire town, wiped it from the face of the earth.
Yeah.
We believe he has some knowledge of this magic.
I wouldn't doubt it. She's...
He also seems to see things that come to pass.
Yeah.
Told us you'd be here. Told us he needed to speak to you. I don't know why.
She's like, why did you need me, Cassandra? He's like, still, I mean, just distraught. He's like, you're supposed to help me find my together.
And I looked at her. Did he lose anything? Not his mind, obviously, but like an item, something precious to him.
He's like, I gotta go to the Hanged Man. I mean, she looks at you three too. The Hanged Man.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I don't know.
He's been rambling the whole time.
He's like, in the place we fought the giant. And she's like, the place we fought the giant. He's like, not the big one. Not that one. I didn't fight that one. She's like, I know you didn't fight that one. And she's like, you're like the smaller one. Like, she's like, the hangman's there? It's like, mm-hmm. Like, why can't you take that? I don't remember where it is. She sits down on the fountain of Rorik. She looks at him, half confused, half in anger, half in pity. Eyes the three of you up. Like, what are you gonna do with him once you're done?
Suppose we'll return him. I don't know.
I haven't thought that far into it.
I'll take you to the place.
What are his crimes? Why was he in prison?
I have no idea. I haven't seen him in years.
You seemed to want him dead when we first told you about him. What has he done?
He betrayed us. He left when we needed him. I mean, she's looking right at him. She's saying it. Turned back and ran with the other half. Left the three of us to face down the giant. He was always obsessed with magic, and he was pretty good. We had ourselves a nice little party. Just like you three. But not everybody's always on the same page.
I was like, why are you looking at me?
People wound up dead because he ran.
How far away is this place?
A couple days.
Well, it's
We
about the
appreciate-
only lead we have right now, other than the Scarlet Keep, which we're far now.
We appreciate your willingness. Sounds like our only option.
And what now, Jaya? Why do you drink alone? In a place where there's plentiful work for someone of your capabilities.
She stands up and dusts herself off. She's like, I'll be getting my things.
Rude girl.
She storms off, and Cassandra's sitting, being just toddler level, lying in the middle of the square of golden leaf.
I don't try to pick him up.
No, God.
Because he's
no.
just going to go right back
Yeah,
down.
I just look at him like, God.
We're gonna end there for tonight.
Love a good Jaya throwback. That's one of my favorite NPCs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know her.
That was
I
from
enjoyed it.
even before we started streaming Strahd. Because I did.
It was like the prequel.
Yeah, I did a
Strahd.
couple of prequel adventures, to level them up a bit. And so Jaya was this old, washed-up giant slayer woman who they kind of brought back and helped defend a town. And her and Caecilius kind of had a thing going. And so then they disappeared into Barovia. And then Jaya's been, looking for him. So that was the...
And adventuring.
And doing her thing.
So she, obviously this would be out of game. She has leveled at the same rate that y'all and Strahd has leveled. So she's fucking powerful.
Yeah. She's cool. I love her. Yeah, not a single die roll. Oh no, there was one stealth.
One stealth roll,
check.
y'all.
We have perception.
I love it.
checks, so-
Oh yeah, there were perception checks, so 4 dice rolled. Thank you, Wiley. Sticking
Yeah,
it out
thanks,
with us, my
Wiley.
dude.
Thanks, anybody else?
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Let's see. Let's launch a raid here on... who's playing right now? There's a couple of bigger streams going, but let's see what little guys are going. What little guys could use our support? Let's see who's playing Dungeons and or Dragons. Okay, you know what? Let's see. Let's find someone who has very few viewers who could really use the bump from a handful of
We rate
viewers here.
ourselves.
Yeah. How about...
Clone you all.
How about... I'm trying to see if there's any other... Oh, here, this looks like a live play right here. The non-human group. I like that. I like what I'm hearing.
Okay. The non-human league.
Alright, launching a raid right now. Good night, Wiley. Alright, guys, we'll see you Sunday for the Curse of Strahd.
Sunday.
Unless we do a last-minute Saturday night stream.
Jesus.
I'll be out of town.
Mayhaps.
I don't know, man. We'll be in Virginia Beach coming back.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Let's just do a D&D talk show night.
Talk show.
We'll figure that out. Or not. Alright, thank you guys for joining us. A lot of fun. Sean, that was awesome. Loved it.
Yep, that was good.
Alright.
A lot of pulling it out.
Alright. We're all done.
I want to see if that Atlanta clip exists.